All right. Welcome to the Abnormal Notary Show. I am your host, Ty Brown. I have the honor of having Griff, the notary, on the show today. Y'all might as well be prepared for an awesome, casual, unapologetic interview. I don't even call it an interview, just a casual conversation. It is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to everybody. Just to give you some heads up of what's going on. A lot. So I created a club room on Clubhouse called the Abnormal Consult. You'll probably be getting an interview from Nikita, inviting you to the new Clubhouse. So make sure that you join that. We are going to be diving into a lot of things. All right. But with that being said, let's jump into this conversation with Griff. I'm going to bring him on and we're just going to chat. All right. Let's get it. Griff, what is going on? Welcome.
Thank you. What's going on, party people? This is your man Griff, straight from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to thank you, Ty, for bringing me in on this here. It's an honor for me. It's an honor for me because I didn't expect any of this when I started just sharing my experiences here on YouTube. And just to give you a little background about myself, this notary or this thing of helping people, I won't even call it notary. The thing of helping people is not new to me. I've been doing this for years. I used to be a pastor, worked in ministry. Then even a year ago, I started helping out friends. I would go to a signing and the person would say, hey, I like the way you're doing this here because the last notary I had was real, janky and wanted to know about doing this. I mean, I look like you making some decent money because, you being the age that you are, back then, like 52, 53, it was like, maybe I could do this here. And I said, sure, you can. And then next thing I know, several signers ended up being notaries. They ended up signing on being notaries. And then of course I would teach them and show them everything. So a lot of what I do with y'all is what I've already was doing. I'm already was doing that for a whole solid year before I came on YouTube. And my whole vibe is to help people and to see people be successful because there's so much misinformation out there. There's so many people, they're scammers, but they're just people out there just trying to make a buck. And they give you the bare minimum of information to extract as much money as they can from you and then still leave you on the side of the road trying to figure it out. So I said, well, I'm going to do everything I can to help people who come across my path, who are serious, who are not disrespectful, and do everything I can to help them. And that's been my whole motto, my whole life. And then I took it to YouTube when I decided to go full time with the business. And then I started seeing people giving a lot of misinformation, especially good morning to all of y'all. Good morning to all y'all. And I was like, okay, you only been doing this for a few years. For a few months. How can you sit there confidently and say you could teach somebody how to do what you're doing when you're just starting out? And that just didn't make sense to me. And when I look back at the experiences that I had, I said, well, let me just share. And then I come to find out people really needed help. And it's just grown from there to the point where I'm doing some teaching, helping people to understand the basic part of what they need to do for this business to be successful. As I've always said, no matter how well you market, if you don't get those documents notarized correctly so that they can be executed, that can be recorded at the courthouse, you're no good to anybody. It's just that simple and everything. So that's me. It's all about helping. As y'all know, I help my wife out. I help my sons out. My oldest son is coming into the business. So that's what I'm about, is just helping people. And I've been doing this for 3 years. 3 years, a little more than 1,000 signings / notary assignments, if you want to, count the non-closing things. And I've learned some things, and I learn from people, and I'm always learning, and I just like to share and just help people out. So I appreciate Ty for bringing me on. And yes, I talk and go down little rabbit holes and stuff, but I'm just being me. Okay. I have no other way to be except me, because I respect the way a person is. And if the way you deliver content, the way you deliver just information is right here. You don't do that. That's fine. But me, I spread it out. I bring it in. I take it up. I take it down because that's just me. And maybe that's the old preacher in me because, that's how preachers do. We start on one subject and run off on here. We start in Leviticus and end up in Revelations, but we somehow tie it all together. Yes. And that's what I try to do, tie it all together and everything. So that's back beautiful. To you, lady.
That's beautiful. So Griff, first of all, I just appreciate you. I didn't realize the enormous amount of people that know you, appreciate you, and how much you've done for your community. I will tell you, I am a PK. So you being a pastor, my father is a PK. So he's a pastor, so I'm a PK. And I lived up to my name, Black Sheep all day. So I know very, very much. Yeah, so welcome everybody so much. Happy Mother's Day to each and every single one of you. Blessings and blessings. I have Griff, the notary here, and we're just going to have a casual conversation. So let's just jump into it, Griff, right? So
all right.
How you got started, right? You said that you've been doing it for about 3 years.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to talk some nasty, but how did you get into it, right? Because you said you were the pastor. Now you're getting into it. Now your son's going to be getting into it. What drove you to this business?
To be honest, I did one of the videos I did early on back in maybe November is I always wanted to be a notary from when I was a kid.
Really?
When I was a kid, when I was a kid down in Jacksonville, Florida, there was certain sides of neighborhoods we weren't supposed to be on. And that was where all the good basketball games was going on.
Always.
There was all the good, and some of them folk, I mean, it was like you had to, if you went over on that side of the neighborhood, you literally had to park your bike in the bushes somewhere, leave all of your gear in there, and walk over to the park. Because if you left anything on that court, your bike or anything, or you couldn't chain it, it would be gone while you playing basketball. But as we rode over there, we went through some other neighborhoods, and I kept seeing these little signs saying Notary Public, Notary Public. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And somebody told me, they said, oh, yeah, you get paid. People pay them to sign documents. People come over to their house and they sign documents and they get some money for that. And I was like, bet I can get with that. But the problem was, and I'm being honest with you, it was in non-Black neighborhoods. You didn't see that in Black folk neighborhoods. Really? You didn't. No, I didn't see. Or if there was, it wasn't Black folk who was doing it. It was white folk and Asian folk and all of them. And I'm like, well, why they get to do it and we don't? I was like, well, that's jacked up. And nobody in my community could tell me anything about it. They just said, well, that's who we go to if we need something notarized. So I said, okay, well, maybe that's something I need to look into. And then, of course, through life, in our community, people if people don't understand what you're trying to do or something, they don't encourage you to do it.
Nope.
So nobody ever encouraged me to do it. Then fast forward to about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I was on the internet and I was listening to Boyce Watkins. And Boyce Watkins had a guy named Andre Hackett, which a lot of people familiar with him. Yeah. Big time notary guy up in New York. And that got me inspired to go back into looking at it. And then one day while I was at work, about 2 years ago, well, more than that, 3 years ago, I just got frustrated. And I said, I'm going to just sign up because I got tired of not doing it. And I know I wanted to do it, but I was only looking at it from the Will's power of attorney aspect. So once I got commissioned, I said, well, let me research and figure out how to do this thing, because I noticed real quick, Virginia didn't have a lot of information. And then that's when I started coming across various different infomercials of being a notary this and being a notary that. And I'm like, okay, what's the truth? So I just relied back on my knowledge of running businesses and stuff. And I said, well, I'm gonna go with this guy. So I went with Bill Soroka, the notary coach. I connected with him more and everything. He seemed more down to earth to me. So I said, I'm gonna go with him. And plus, at the time, I was going through a bankruptcy because I had lost my job. I was making $115,000.
In there, yep.
For 4 years, I was commuting up to Maryland to take care of the family because my oldest son played golf. My youngest son was in gymnastics. So my sons was in two of the highest costing sports in America, gymnastics and golf at the same time. So we was rolling with that 20 24/7, 365. Once golf season was over, we was into gymnastics. When gymnastics, back into golf. I needed 100 and some thousand. So I took a job out of town. Every weekend came back home, didn't get laid off. And I was like, I'm in a bankruptcy now because we couldn't pay bills. But then there's this notary thing. And then Bill was like, at the time, $25 a month.
Right.
I said, okay, $25 a month, I can figure that out. I can justify 25 to the bankruptcy trustee in case they ask, and learn as much as I can about whether or not this notary deal from the loan signing aspect is for me. Okay.
Right.
I was already doing the notary. I was going to do the notary no matter what.
Okay.
But is this loan signing thing, this
specific niche is what you want to
niche, was that really for me? Could I make money?
Right.
And Bill said something very simple, not directly to me, but just in general. He said, to understand this industry, this business, you need to know that every house that has a mortgage on it has to be closed by a notary. The moment he said that, I'm talking about the moment, the micro nanosecond he said that, I said, I'm going full time in this thing.
Okay.
Because I looked and I said, okay, in my neighborhood, there's 67 houses, including mine. The average price is $380 to $420 that we bought these houses at. I said, bump this. I'm gonna figure out how to make this work. I'm gonna make this work. And I just got to going in it. I just going. Now at the time I was doing Grubhub, Postmates, Shipped, Amazon Flex.
I still do DoorDash and Instacart. I refuse to go back to 9 to 5. I'm not doing it.
So I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I'm doing all of those. And I was working a part-time job at Enterprise, shoveling the clean cars, the dirty cars that get cleaned and then the clean cars that get rented. So I was working from 8 in the morning, from 7, 8 in the morning till 4:30, go to Enterprise from 5 o'clock till midnight, sometime 2 in the morning, go home, get some sleep, come back. I was doing that and then doing Grubhub and all of that in between. But when the notary thing hit, I said, you know what? I can work this notary until, so I just set a goal. I said, I'm making about $2,000, maybe $3,000 from all of my, what I consider the true side hustles.
Yeah.
I said, but the notary thing, that's more than a side hustle.
Yes.
I said, if I can get 1,500 out of this, I can let some of that side hustle stuff go. And I had already got kicked off of Amazon because Amazon was shifting their business model from the individual people to the little van things that they're doing now.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so that was $2,000 gone. And the other 1,000 was coming from, I was like, I gotta make 1,500. And I just started making that money with the notary. Okay. And I was like, okay, this is going to work. And I'm gonna be honest with you, what propelled me to my success, honestly, was not hearing all of the crazy stuff that was going on in the Facebook groups.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Because I learned from the Facebook groups under the side hustle stuff, Postmates, especially Postmates.
Okay.
I'm doing Postmates, and then being Griff, new Postmaters come in. Hey, this is how you make money doing this. Here's the areas you need to go into. And then I was getting land based by people. Don't tell them the secret. Don't tell them you're hurting. Notice what they said. You're hurting the industry. Same thing they're saying with the notary. Don't tell them information because you're hurting us and you're going to cause the prices to drop.
Yo, Griff, hang on. Okay, so if you don't know this, and if people that follow me, I have a bit of an ADD, and I just insert sometimes.
Go
this
for
is what I'll tell you. I want to talk about that real quick. Okay. A lot of people are saying, so Notary Go, for instance, they're very cheap. They'll charge you $60, right? You have other signing companies, they'll do $75. A lot of people say, oh, well, if you accept that $50 fee, then that's going to screw everybody. That means everybody's going to have to get a $50 fee. Do you believe in that hype and the taking the low fees, which is going to ruin it for everybody else? Like, what's your thought?
Because they've been saying that for the whole 3 years that I've been doing this business.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, they've been saying it for the whole 3 years. And again, I put myself, business mindset. a W-2 mindset, you think that. Because as a W-2, all of a sudden, new people come on board, a new admin assistant, a new security officer, a new programmer comes on. You're worried that they're going to outdo you in your W-2 and then take the bonus from you. Now, they can't necessarily stop you from making your money that you've already been contractually given, but they can. The more people, okay, well, we only got $3 million in raises to give for the whole company, and they just increase the number of people by 250, that might drop the percentage. Instead of everybody getting 1.5, that might drop everybody down to 1.2. So that 13 cent that I'm not going to get, can you really make? That's how people look at it. But with this, these are independent companies that have set their business model and said,
Correct.
this is how we're going to do things.
Correct.
Because you also have what you would call, what I call concierge signing companies and title companies and lenders. So you have some high class lenders that, like, we're taking care of high class people. So we're not going to pay a notary $60 because we understand the concept of you get what you pay for.
That's notary. That's notary. Right.
So, right.
They're desperate.
Now, somebody had commented a while back in my on one of the posts that I did saying that, right, you're not required to take low balls. And see, even the low ball, the concept of low ball, the low ball term really means that the price is already set and somebody is offering you much lower than what is standard. So is that standard?
What does that mean? What does that mean, Griff?
What that means is it standard that you have to get 125? If it's standard that you have to get 125, if it's commonly known, if it is a fact, then you go into a company and they say, well, we're going to pay you way down here. That's an issue.
Right.
But if the industry, or if it's wide open, that there's no standard set fee that you have to be paid, aka minimum wage. So if you're supposed to get $11 an hour minimum wage in Texas, and somebody comes with, we're only going to pay you $7, they got to have a darn good reason for not sticking with the federally mandated minimum wage. But with the notary thing,
there is no
I'm wrong.
There's no mandate.
There's no mandate that you have to get paid that.
Yeah.
There's an average. So lowball would be they're offering you something much lower than what they should be, and everybody has agreed upon. Now, that person commented about AmRock.
Yes.
AmRock pays, from my understanding, 65, and then they throw on 20, which comes
we lost
up to 85. And that's what they told me.
Oh, we're good now.
That's what they think.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. Now, if AmRock said, hey, we're only going to, this is what we pay. So you're typically going to make 85. Okay. So if they typically pay 85 and then they come and say, well, really, we're only going to pay you 35, to me, that's lowball. So
here's a question for you. This is what I tell a lot of people, right? It's like, how can I put this? So Notary Go, right? So they use Old Republic Title, they use Home Caliber Loans, they use Avenue 365. So when they give to me and they say, hey, Ty, your price is going to be $60, but sometimes they come back around because nobody else has come and taken that appointment. They'll say, hey, Ty, can you take this appointment for me? I'll be like, yeah, sure. It's going to be $150. Okay, no problem. The question I have for you is, these signing companies have a threshold that they can go to based on the limit, right? Because they're already getting probably $400, $500, $600, whatever it is. And then they come to the signing company, they negotiate their fee, then you get broken off your fee. Obviously, everybody has their overhead. Everybody has all the things they have to do as a signing company.
Right.
Well, why is it that we have to negotiate that fee versus them just giving us the dadgum high amount that the lender has agreed for them to go up to? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, from a business standpoint, if it's known, especially now, if there's a chance that notaries in a particular area are going to have a 30% error rate, and I got to, so you want me to pay you $125 for a 30% chance that you're going to have an error, a 50% chance that you're not going to be able to go back and fix that error in time, which means there's a 100% chance I might have to go pay somebody else
to go back out.
Now I'm going to get back out. Now I'm going over my threshold. So I paid you, let's just say I paid you 75. Now I got to pay extra. You see what I'm saying?
All right, I got it.
You see, so there has to be some grayscale. So from a business standpoint, you want to pay, you would love to pay, but in order for me and the reason why I'm looking at it this way is because people have asked me about being a signing company. So from a signing company perspective, if I know that I can rely on Ty, I have no problem paying the 125. I will pay Ty 125 because I know the error rate with her is 1 to 3%.
That makes sense.
1 to 3%. Okay, fine. I will pay you. But if I know Shantae or Cody or Kevin or whatever, I know that they're a living body who can press a stamp up and down.
Yes.
And I need somebody. I already know that they're going to miss 5 stamps. I already know they're going to not get this. I already know. So I'm going to have to send somebody out to fix it. But I need to at least get it done.
Correct.
So from a business standpoint, let me just get it done. The same way people used probably in most people seen in a W-2, they hire somebody and it's like, why did they hire that person? Well, we needed a body to fill this in, but then later on that person disappears. So they hire people. Sometimes, as a preacher said a long time ago named Art Aragon, he's out of Alaska. He says, sometimes you get the most faithful lunatic. That person is faithful, but they are just straight crazy,
horrible.
But they are fake. But they will be there and they will put forth every effort to do whatever you say. They won't do it right.
Right.
They might make everybody angry, but that's all I got.
Right.
So you're in charge of the Sunday school kid, and they done made the kids go crazy. Kids eating paint and stuff, but they was the only person that we had at the time that would be willing to go in there with baby kids and man and TT until we get somebody who's qualified to do it. Okay, we've seen that. That happens in business sometimes. So my goal is to help notaries get themselves together according to what they've been commissioned to do, so that they won't be a faithful lunatic, so that they will be a faithful, solid notary that the companies can rely on. Because I mean, it's just straight common sense, in my opinion. If you are solid, there's no reason for a company or an individual not to pay you your due. Once you've proven it, I did a video about knowing your worth. And the one thing that the lady said in there was a TED conference. She said after she had done the work, know what I'm saying? Done the work, she realized she should be getting paid more. But she first did the work, which goes into the thing of, well, don't take any orders unless it's this amount. Okay, fine. Don't take any orders. But guess what? People who wanted PPP money, if you didn't do any work in 2019 to have some taxes and stuff, guess what? You ain't getting no money because you didn't do anything. Just imagine all the people last year who said, well, I ain't doing any money. Okay, well, you basically didn't make any money. So there's nothing for us to give you for PPP money because you really didn't do any work.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the thing. So once she said I did work, then I was able to say, well, this is the level of work that I gave you, and I can step it up a notch, or this level of work was really worth this amount.
Right.
60% of my orders are $100 or more.
So
go for it.
Question for you, Griff, real quick. So there's a lot of people that say, hey, I won't walk out my door less than $100. But if you have a newbie that's coming into the industry, obviously they have opportunities. But if you're a newbie, how would you suggest to someone getting into the business that maybe are not at that level to get $100 yet, right? How would you navigate the waters?
You take the money from a business standpoint. Let me back up here. not a W-2
And
mindset.
W-2 and 1099 as well in your
Okay, W-2, as one of my favorite motivational speakers, Eric Thomas says, if you're in beast mode and you're on the hunt, if you're a W-2 mindset, if you're just a 9 to 5, you're only looking for things from this time to that time, from this price to that price. But the lion knows that the gazelle will shift so it can survive. But the lion got to also shift so it can hunt the gazelle and catch it. So I'm gonna answer your question.
I got you.
When prior to the pandemic, I was banking bank
Yeah.
from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night.
Mm.
Why? Because everybody was at regular work. The only time they could close was between 5 and 10 o'clock at night, sometimes 11 o'clock at night. And there were notaries, primarily the lady notaries, because there's a lot of ladies in the business who are not going to go out at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Right. So all of those people who typically work during the day, they couldn't do anything at night because of kids, because husband then came home. Let's be real. Husband like, nah, you ain't going out at night. Nah, he ain't one that knows how to cook and feed the kids. So you got to come home, work all day as a notary, and come home and feed the kids and all that stuff and feed his behind. So next thing you know, you can't do those orders even though you want to. So Griff, I called myself Hampton Roads #1 nighttime notary. I advertised that for 2 years solid. And I took any order that came in at night. I would come home from an order, been unhopped in my pajamas, get a notification, 150 now, ASAP. Yo, babe, I'm out. Now, that was my gazelle was from 5 to 10. All of a sudden, when the pandemic hit, everybody came home, started refinancing, and guess what? The gazelle moved to 8 to 4 because everybody was home. So why do I need to do a closing at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night? Because I'm home.
Right.
But guess what? Griff was working his W-2 8 to 4. So you know what I did? I shifted my hours 7 to 3.
Okay.
So that I could get out there an hour earlier and grab at least 1 or 2 orders.
But what if you're somebody that has a full time from 9 to 5 and all they can do is evening appointments? How do
you take whatever you can.
Doesn't matter.
So going back to it from a business standpoint, I look at if you're doing the notary thing, it's a business thing. So from a business standpoint, where can I make the money? How much money do I want to make? Because most people haven't even set a goal. They're trying to get signings, but they haven't even set a goal.
Mark Willis's commercial, or they see a commercial that says, hey, you can make $10,000, $12,000 and don't really understand the foundation of creating the business. Right.
They don't understand it. So from a business standpoint, a true business person does not just initially turn down money unjustifiably. What is your justification? And if your justification only having not done any kind of real business or any kind of real notary work, if your justification is to say out of your mouth, I'm not taking an $85 order or $75 order because that doesn't communicate my worth. You have to communicate your worth in doing the work. And everybody keeps saying, well, that's not showing my worth. No. That's how they value that particular job is $75. If you want to show them that you're worth more, just like we tell people, and our parents have told us when we first went out there, take the job, start at McDonald's, just like in Coming to America. Hey, like Louis Armstrong said, I'm mopping floors and then I get moved up to fries. There's this thing of getting moved up. But when it comes to the notary, nobody wants to get moved up to the fries. They just want to go straight to being a manager. They want to go straight up to being a baller. They want to go straight. Right. They don't want to go through the process.
Yes.
But as an old preacher that I know down in Atlanta, Georgia, Wiley Jackson said, it's the process, not the product. Everybody's worrying about the product. But when you focus on the process of learning how to get to the product, you'll always be able to make it. Now, of course, people now you got those outliners. You got those people who are just gun-ho, dog determined, and they're going to take the smallest amount of information and make $10,000 a month. But that is not the majority of people. Bottom line. And a lot of people out there who are making money in this business just like that probably already had connections, probably already had people hooking them up with stuff, already knew a little bit of something, already knew about notary work, already knew the industry. You see what I'm saying? So they would slid in. Now they ain't gonna tell you that, because to tell you that, then you're gonna look at them as like, oh well, you look, you privileged. You're privileged. You're not on the struggle bus like me. I'm on the struggle bus. You was in a Ferrari when you took on a notary commission. So you already had it. You already had the money to invest. Look, I took money out of my retirement account and off of my life insurance
I put money on my
policies.
credit cards.
Yeah,
Griff, to start.
to buy computers and to do the computers, the printers, and all of that.
Yes.
So you might say that I wasn't necessarily on a struggle bus, but I was on a struggle bus in order to New York Life. I need $300 to buy a printer, and they took it off of my whole life insurance policy. And as just a side note, for those of you who have a whole life insurance policy, which is very good to have, a little more expensive, you get cash value, and then you can borrow money off of that life insurance policy. Pay it back if you want, but if you don't pay it back, they just deduct the amount that you owe from the death benefits that get paid out. So I took money off of my life insurance policy to buy printers, to buy stuff, all of that kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a new person, just get the orders, get the money coming in. If you get money coming in, my concept is simply this: if I can make $1, I can make something happen. I can't do anything with $0. There's nothing I can do in this life with $0. Even if I had $1, I can at least get $1 worth of gas to get me from point A to point B to make $10.
Okay.
But if you got $0 and you almost on empty,
okay,
what can you do?
Okay.
You can't do anything. But if you literally have $1 and the gas attendant will look at you funny.
Yes.
$1 on 3. $1 on 3. Give me $1 of gas on 3. And guess what? I'm gonna drive the speed limit. I ain't gonna have no air conditioning on. I'm gonna be sweaty and all that. So that's why I got extra towels in the back. But that $1 of gas got me to a point to where I can make $10 or $60 or 75. So you mean to tell me that you're unwilling to invest that last dollar you have to go make a do a $75 order that you literally legitimately can do?
Yeah.
You legitimately can do.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of people, and this is for the ladies, and I know a lot of the ladies with their man can have a struggle with this. One young lady called me and said she was trying to figure out how to go about doing a business. And there's two things that's happening right now. The individual is making excuses, and then their partner can be a roadblock.
Talk about that. What does that mean?
The person that's a notary trying to do the business will make the excuse, I'm getting orders for a 125 and 150, but they're for 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out at that time of night.
Yeah.
Question is, can you? Well, yeah, I can. I just don't want to. I don't want to.
Then can you complain about it then?
I don't want to.
About it then.
Right.
Okay.
Or the job is 45 minutes away or an hour away. Okay, well, how much are they paying you? 125. Man, in fact, they was even pushing 175. Okay, so you got the 100 to say 175 range to go out and do this. But because personally, you don't feel like driving that far, you're not going to do it.
That is correct.
But then you have the blockers, and it could be the husband or the wife. I don't want you out. You got to stay home and feed the kids. I'm going to go hang out with the fellas. I'm going to go hang out with the ladies. So you can't because we only got one car. Or the worst one to me is when they say, and this is coming from mostly the men, well, I don't want all the miles on my car. So we only got one car, big old SUV. It costs gas. Okay, got that. You're going to be paying for gas no matter what anyway. But I only want to put, like maybe 900 miles a month on my car for the resale that I might do in a couple of years. Okay, I put $2,000. I mean, put 2,000 miles plus a month on my car, and I'm pulling in $7K. You're putting 900, and you ain't getting nothing. So you tell me where the logic is. 2,000 miles to make $7 grand. So you're making good money, my man. Your wife has an opportunity, or lady, if y'all not married, to make the money, to make some extra money for y'all. And you're going to have to add some extra miles on the car, but she can make 5 to 7 grand doing it. Whereas you say, nah, keep the car parked in the yard. We'll just live off of bread and water so we can sell the car, only having 900 miles a month on it, and make nothing. That doesn't make sense to me. That's not a business mindset. That's a W-2 mindset, because you're worried about losing something. You see what I'm saying? So
what if nobody has anything though, Griff? What if you're starting in this business? And I see some people in the comments that have used their stimulus checks, right, to invest in this business. Some people have gotten it back in the first month. But if you're someone that's afraid to get out on the pavement and start making money because they don't know if they're going to make that money back in time, how do you not necessarily change that mindset? How do you navigate your mind to say, you know what, it may be an hour and a half, but I know that I can make $175. And if I can keep doing this every single day, then something will change for me, right?
You got to change the inputs that's coming into your mind.
Talk on it.
You got to change the information. That's why I've been telling people, listen to Eric Thomas. Listen to these motivational speakers. You listen to them. That's why I got on my channel. There's a playlist, I think, called Business, and one of them called Mindset. And that's why I guess like the mindset book I've been telling people about. You got to have the right mindset. It's understandable to be scared. It's understandable to be unsure. A W-2 job is guaranteed. I won't say guaranteed, but it's more
security. A little more security.
Right.
A little bit. Yeah.
But my thing is this: if you are the type of person that has refused to actually try, then just go on and give up, and I'll buy your equipment for you for 10% of what it's worth. now, and I'm gonna say this here statement here, because I was thinking about this and I wrote this down.
Yes.
There are people out here who can do this. There's people who can legitimately can put their all in this business, but they won't. There's people who want to put their all in this business, but they can't because of stuff like what you said. The question I have for you is this: for those of you who can do this business, when will you do the business?
Hey.
And for those of you who can't, how will you?
Yeah, that's
you got to see, how will you do it? You recognize the speed bump, just like when you're driving in a parking lot and you see the speed bump. The question is, how you going to get across that speed bump? You got to get on the other side. Either you're going to take a left and go through the other parts of the parking lot that does not have speed bumps and get back in the lane, or you're going to go across it. And if you're going to go across it, then are you going to speed across, boom, 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 tear your car up? Or are you going to go in there and take your time, one front end at a time, then the back end, and then I'm going. But either way it goes, you got to get past that speed bump.
This is
to
the thing,
get to the other side, you got to go across that speed bump.
You have to. So this is my thing. And we're at the bottom of the hour. And a lot of people, they don't really have questions, more so just comments saying that you're the bomb, dropping gems, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what I'm going to tell y'all. Griff said he can stay on a little bit after 12. So if y'all have specific questions for him, y'all know y'all can ask me anything. Please drop them in the chat. As always,
stay on long as you want. I can stay on long as you want. I roll with your time period. Y'all know how I am. Look, I did that 4-hour live. Shoot, I did a 4-hour live. I can hang with you.
I appreciate you. But speaking of live, so if y'all have not registered for my first masterclass that I'm hosting with Takesha Smith Robinson from Virginia, that is this coming Saturday, the 15th at 11 a.m. Please get locked into that. I think it's going to be amazing. Also, I started a new club room on Clubhouse called the Abnormal Consults. Please tap into that. You may get invites from Nikita or Lucia. So please make sure you follow. We're going to be dropping in some gems and a lot of other stuff. So Griff, this is the question I want to talk to you about.
Sure.
I don't get into Facebook groups. Like I'll pop in, pop out just to try to get some ideas to talk on Clubhouse or whatever. But I loathe Facebook groups. How do you feel about when you have a notary that's new? They go into a Facebook group, they put in an actual document, they redact some of the information, and they say, hey guys, can you help me? I personally, I think that's crazy because you're going to get like 10,000 answers.
True.
Why would you want to put yourself in that predicament? And some people would say, well, I don't know who else to go to. I try to go to a mentor or I try to go to a coach. I pay all this money and then they screw me. Right. So all I have is the Facebook group. What do I do?
That is true. That is true. Okay. Real quick, I got to ask Dr. Tech asked, what are the characteristics of a good notary?
On the show, Griff.
Huh?
Tech will be on the show on the 23rd. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Characteristics of a good notary is somebody who has integrity, who has compassion, who has a commitment to doing things right, who has respect for the business and others in the business. Those are just a few. Now, with the Facebook groups, I hopped in them because people say, hey, check them out. People was putting my videos in there and I didn't know that. So I was like, okay, so I hopped in there and I got out of 3 of them recently. Last week I got out of them because there was this young person in there that had the audacity, young girl had the audacity to start cussing at me. Started calling me narcissistic, calling me condescending, calling me a condescending A, and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, you know what? My kids don't even know that my son, and I looked her up. I'm like, okay, you the age of my kid. My kids know better than that. And I said, okay, that's just a straight up level of disrespect. You 20 something years old and feel that you have the right to cuss at a 53-year-old man. I'm 54 now. Birthday was a couple of days ago.
Hey, first say happy birthday to Griff. His birthday was May the 7th. Say happy birthday. Okay,
Thank you. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm 53 years old, going on 54, and you honestly think in a supposed to be a professional group of notaries working with each other that you have to communicate to me with profanity. And then I'm like, okay, the moderators, I know that ain't what y'all start. Y'all need to hem these folk up. Y'all really need to land base these folk.
Yes.
And I said, you know what? I ain't got time for it. So I said, bump it. One of the statements that my wife always said, your success is based on what you choose to ignore. So I said, you know what? I'm done with it. So I'm still in a few that don't act crazy, but the ones that were, and the people in there appreciated me, but I was like, I know how I am. And I've said it. If you come at me, I'm gonna meet you at the front door.
Listen, hello. The door may be open. Please come in.
So I'm not that type. Don't do that. So I got out of the Facebook groups and to put more time, not even so much more time, but just focus on the YouTube channel and helping people out there and then doing the classes and stuff. Now, as far as, think of it this way. In a relationship, why do people go to someone else in a relationship? I'm in a relationship with you. I'm at your job. I'm dating you. I'm married to you. I'm buying something from you. And the moment the person who you supposed to be trying to get that something from is no longer able to provide it or unwilling to provide it, what do? You go somewhere else. Exactly. So I paid for training. The training, and again, I'm not trying to put down anybody's training, but this is the truth that I've learned from listening and talking to y'all.
Who cares?
The truth of the matter is the majority of the training out there from non-NNA trainers is simply to help you understand how to market and grow your business. Your business. So when it comes time to get into the specifics of notarizations, thank you. Happy born day. When it comes to getting into the specifics of notarizing a document, especially according to your specific state guidelines, that notary trainer may not want to get into that and go down that alley because they may not know your state guidelines.
So you think
Because
that it's broad training? They're not really going.
I think it's more so. I think it's a lot of time it's more broad training, and I think the training has developed because so many notaries were being unprofessional, couldn't answer, but then at the same time, legally, in certain cases, notaries aren't allowed. So if your state says you keep your mouth shut, you keep your mouth shut. But then you're working with a signing company or a title company that said, hey, we want you to guide them and we want you to say this, that, and the other. And you're trying to focus on that. That could be a struggle. So for the people who are doing it in Facebook, the only reason why they're doing it in Facebook is because they do not have the support from the people who they got training from. They're not providing that. So
they take your money. They take your money.
The money. So you don't pay, right. So you don't pay money for the training. And then a lot of the training says, okay, go to the NNA. But I done paid all this money to you for the training. I don't have any money for the NNA. A lot of times, depending on how the trainer communicates, and this is just with anything, if you communicate that everything that you have is what a person needs, but oh, you need to go over here for this other stuff. Why would I go over there if you've already told me and presented yourself that you have it all? You're saying that you have it all. But the key thing that I need is over here. My thing is, how about incorporating that in to your? So what I'm saying is, nobody should have to go on Facebook to ask for help if they first learn how to be a notary.
First, don't jump into loan signing before you get the foundation. This is why I always say, Griff, get the foundation first. Just because you saw a commercial, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to jump into the river of sharks. You should go ahead and stay in that little pond first, right? Navigate through the pond, understand your statutes, understand your laws, understand your do's and your don'ts, understand your loose certificates, what you can and cannot do, right? Master that. I always say master something first, then move on to the next thing, right?
But the thing is, most people's introduction to notary is the infomercial.
That is correct.
So you've been sitting back chilling, drinking your kombucha and all of that stuff. And the next thing you know, you can make this money. You can do that money. Or you see people like stripper money flowing down on them. I done made all this money. And you're like, well, daggone, I need that. And then especially if they touch, if there's a connection, oh man, she young like me. He young like me. They seem so refined and so pristine. They seem so trustworthy. But here's the thing. People are hopping into an industry based off of an infomercial and don't know anything about the industry. They never took time out. Okay, they just took that person's word for it.
That's all people are taking though, Griff. That's all they're taking. It says, hey, go to this person because you can do X, Y, Z. But at the end of the day, when you see, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm saying it anyway. When you see the videos that come up, all you're seeing is people that make $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. Where are the people that are struggling, right? Where are those people that are trying to get through the process? So all people see is these videos that you can make all this money, but where is the actual real life grinding?
And from a marketing standpoint, that is excellent because it touches the heart, just like with real estate. When we sold a house to move into this one, I was like, everything from a man's perspective, everything works, everything looks good. The lady was like, no. We need curve appeal. We need something to touch the heart of the woman. I fixed my house up to where any man that came into the house could say, okay, ain't got to fix nothing. Yeah, let's buy this. But she was like, no, we need to put flowers. We need to put mulch. We need to do all of this stuff so that it would touch the heart of the woman. It will pull on her emotional heartstrings. That's why I see so many women in this business, because the marketing, not all marketing, not from everybody, but a lot of the marketing is hitting that emotional thing. Especially if you want to be a boss and it comes across like, oh, well, I can run this business and I can be a boss. Now I'm going to take it into a different direction here. I'm going to take it a little bit different. So going back to the Facebook and the training has to be correct.
That's key.
The training has to be correct, and people need to be aware of the fact that if the training is only teaching you how to run the business, but not how to do the art of the business or the skills of the business, then it's no good.
Correct.
Because you market yourself and then you can't notarize. That's what you're going to get in trouble for. That's what they're going to stop using you for. Not because, oh, well, man, you didn't market yourself good for me. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and again, and see, when it's like people say, okay, I'm not saying that a person is, the training can be good, because when you haven't learned anything or don't know something about an industry, all of that information sounds good. The question is, when you go to do the act of the business, can you lean, what information from your training can you lean on to get you through the trouble area? So when you say, well, this person's training isn't good, that person, is good, it's nothing that they're not good. I'm not saying that the training isn't good. What I'm saying is, if you took any training from anybody on any subject, and when you go to execute something, there's nothing in that training that you can fall back on to get you through the trouble spots, there's a problem. Case in point, anybody who's in the Navy, one of the things we learn in firefighting school is whenever there's a fire on the other side of a door, in order to figure out how hot that door is or that room is, you put the back of your hand, which is the most sensitive part of your body, up against the door, go all the way up, go all the way down, and depending on how much heat you feel coming through the door on the back of your hand will tell you, okay, the fire's right there. But if you put your hand there and go up and down and you don't feel it, or if you're like, okay, well, it's not that bad, it's not really, really, really hot, okay, then I might be able to open this door and get through it. I learned that when I first joined the Navy at 18, 19 years old. I never forgot that. So that's training that I can rely on. So no matter where I'm at in this world, if I'm in a hotel, like The Rock was in that little thing, or Die Hard in the Nakatoshi Tomy Tower, and there's a fire on the other side of the door, Griff ain't opening up. I'm not putting this part of my hand, which is a tougher part of your skin. I'm like, okay, got it. It's too hot. Find another way. That's something I can rely on. If the training that you have taken does not give you anything that you can fall back on, when you see the order, you see on the foregoing instrument was acknowledged before me on this date by, and you don't know what to put in there after the word by, and you can't rely, and you start looking up to the right and you start trying to pull information, and you're going through all of the modules, and there's nothing in none of the modules that you can refer back to help you out with that. Now you got to question the training. You see what I'm saying? Now you got a question, and then the other question is, well, then what was the point of the training? If the point of the training was to get you more acclimated for the business or the decorum or how you carry yourself, that's fine. But once we get past that and you actually have to notarize the document, has that training helped you to notarize it? And if the answer is, well, no, okay, then what training will? And to me, the only training that really is truly helping people or is the NNA training, because that's what they are there for. So,
Griff, they have essentials, because there's a question here about fundamentals. Like, what type of course is out there? I know Lori Brewer has her stuff, but I don't really promote anybody because I haven't taken it, so I can't really speak on it.
I took it.
You took it? Okay. So there's a question. I think it's from Thee, not to interrupt your flow.
No, go for
it. But Thee had a question. Is this Thee? That no state laws and where the stamp sounds, but every state doesn't have the same fundamental resources. So her question is, where can you go to get the fundamentals, right?
That would be the NNA and the state primer. You first of all, you download your state book. You get your notary law book. Okay, you get the books from the state, and you read that. As boring as it is, you read through that.
Or what
is and you go through that, and then use the resources. Use any resource that's going to help you to notarize the document correctly. So the NNA is out there. Okay, NNA, let's put you to the test. I'm gonna pay the $69 and get the hotline membership. Let's see what you got. Okay, you got this book, you got that, and then read the book. Put the information from the book into your brain so that you can say, okay, yes. In other words, the bottom line is this: you have to have information up here that you can refer back to. If the information that you have up here, when you refer back to it, does not help you out with your current situation. Just like, okay, case in point, a person's in an abusive relationship and then they get out of it. There's something that they learned from that relationship or should have learned, so that if they get in another relationship and then they start seeing the same little, nope, I see, they refer back to. What do we say to a person who's been in an abusive relationship and then is in another one and the same markers are there? Didn't you learn from the first time?
Right.
What does it take for you to understand that old boy or old girl is crazy?
Facts.
Because you was in this situation, you saw what happened, and the same pattern is coming up again. So if you see the same pattern of, I don't know, I can't figure out, but you pay $500 for training, $200 for training, mentorship programs, and nobody is able to provide you, then you got to, okay, I got to get some other information.
But some people are scarred though, Griff. Some people are literally scarred. Like they've spent 300, like I've just got done with apostille training, right? I did it for $20. There's other people out there that's charging $225, $300, right? But you've spent that much money on these training classes and you walked away with absolutely diddly squat. How can you remove that ambiguity and say, you know what, okay, I'm going to give Griff a try because I have been watching his YouTube channel and he's thebomb.com. And I know I can walk away knowing that the money I'm about to spend dealing with him is going to be okay. But how do you remove that confusion to actually take that next step to pay somebody else, again, more money coming out of your pocket, and hopefully that you will receive information that you can then be successful in your business?
For me, it starts by the person who's doing the training. They have to come up front and communicate.
They're not.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. Right. They're not. So you got to take a chance. So then to me, it's up to the person. And then you're going to have to rely on whatever natural, spiritual, internal keys to say, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. So that's why even with the training that I've been doing, yes, I could charge way more for what I'm doing, because like somebody put in there, it was a 2-hour training and we end up being in there for 4 hours. I mean, one time I started at 10, we ain't finished till like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm only charging $35. And yes, I know I could charge more, but see, here's the thing, because I know people have been scarred with the 500 to 300. All of the what I call the fake mentorship stuff. I can't find it in my heart to sit here and say, okay, I'm gonna charge you $200 for that training when I know you're already struggling. So I'd rather just, okay, I'm a small fee, the cost of a box of letter paper. You're gonna spend a cost of a letter paper, because my goal is that if you listen to me and I can help you move forward in the notarization side of the house, you need to have money for your supply. So if I'm charging you $200-300 and you're like, okay, got it, I can go do this business, but I ain't got no toner, I ain't got no paper, and I ain't got no money to buy the toner or paper because I just spent a grip with Griff. Well, that doesn't do you any good. So I helped you out and I got you inspired and I got you focused to where, okay, now I'm confident that I can notarize these documents, but I don't have any money. I'm all tapped out. So I don't want to tap anybody out. But at the same time, if you want to throw some money on the Cash App, you can. But that's not my goal, because people always ask me about that. That's really not my goal. Here's my goal. If I can get you to do good at being a notary, not great, just being good, to where you're not causing heartburn and heartache to the signing company, to the title company, to the escrow company, to the settlement officer, to the loan officer, to the point to where they don't want to change the regulations and say, bump this, we ain't using mobile notaries no more. If I can keep you from being one of those bad notaries, then guess what? That's more money coming into my pocket down the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's more money for me. Because if it's like, okay, we got if right now, let's say we got 20,000 notaries in my area, but 7,000 are acting a pure fool. That's 7,000 notaries that's acting up. That's what drives the price down. But if I can get half of that to where they say, oh, okay, I need to do right. Or they decide I ain't gonna do this no more. And then everybody else who's left is doing things correctly. What business isn't going to be willing to pay you if they see that you're doing it correctly?
Correct.
That's where it's at. If you look at it from a business mindset. Now, let me share this here. One of the things that I've noticed is that anytime that I talk about taking orders under $60, under $100 or $60, $25, or anything that's not or people paying for stuff that they shouldn't be, all this fake mentorship, buying documents and all of that, that's when people come at me. And I say, okay, well, I understand why. The reason why is because when you have a desire to scam people or to get into the quote unquote mentorship at 3 months in, and somebody's talking about, hey, you don't want to pay somebody who's only been in it for 3 months $150. That's what I say. I mean, there's people out there talking about pay me to follow me on my journey. Why the heck would I pay you?
Into a Facebook group, Griff. Let me pay money. So think about this. If you pay $5 and there's 3,000 people in that Facebook group, you're brand new, right? Somebody told you to go into the Facebook group. Now you are a pin in a complete haystack and you are not able to be found, but yet you just spent $5 in the hopes that somebody was going to help you along your journey. I think it's bullcrap.
Right. And now and that's the new hustle. And I'm sitting here like, nah. Because we're supposed to be colleagues in this. And I get the thing, because see, if you call yourself a mentor, that's why I did the video about understanding mentorship. If you're going to be a mentor, there's a responsibility on the mentor to be there. And most quote unquote people who talk about I'm a mentor or I can mentor you, they aren't there. They don't know how to be there. See, not only are they're not physically there, they don't know how to be there. See, you have to know how to be there. What does a woman say to some, especially in a relationship with guys? You guys like, well, I'm here. No. You might be physically here in the house, but you don't know how to be here. Because when we're talking and I'm sharing with you, you're sitting there scrolling, you're sitting there you're sitting there that, and you're like, wow, okay, that's wild. No, that means you ain't been listening to me.
You listen to one word
I said. So you got to know how to be there for somebody. And you have to be able to be tough with them. Because some people who call me, I'm like, okay, you're trying to do something. Why are you trying to do that? Because a lot of people call me, they just want the answer. No. Why are you doing that? What makes you well, let me put it this way. Whatever training you took, if you have confidence in that training, in my opinion, you shouldn't be asking anybody anything. You done paid $300, $400, $500 for training, but yet you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you calling me, you calling Ty, you calling all these people trying to get an answer for something that you supposed to have been trained in. That's a problem. Or you have the scammer or the slicksters. You have people trying to be slick saying, well, Griff, well, what you saying is what I learned when I took the Notary Essentials course. Okay, so you took the Notary Essentials course. Now you're asking me about doing something opposite of what you learned in the Notary Essentials course. My answer to you, not knowing that you took that course, is to do the correct thing, which mirrors what they said in the Notary's Essential course.
Yes.
My question is, why are you trying to find an end around to doing what's right?
But a lot of people do end arounds. Griff.
But the end arounds they want to do is going to get them in trouble.
Exactly.
The end around,
I know.
The main end around is, I don't want, they're like, well, do I need to stamp? Do I need to stamp? I'm like, Yes, you need to stamp. What does your state law says with regard to stamping the document? Virginia
Yes.
says next to your official notary signature, you're to put a stamp. So it tells me that means I have to sign in cursive. Notaries out there like, well, it don't say sign, it just says notary public. So therefore, I don't need to sign. Who said that? Well, this person over here said that. Make them give you receipts. That's why I keep saying anybody who's telling you something, make them give you receipts. And the biggest problem right now, and I know people might get mad at me, but
Oh,
the biggest
well.
problem is that y'all are being told to do stuff and y'all are not making them people prove to you to do it. I know a lot of people talk about presenting the documents, document presentation. Here's the thing. What does the NNA tell us to do? Because that's who we're certified through.
Mm-hmm.
What does the person who is paying you want you to do when it comes to conducting the loan closing? And what does your state say you're to do? All of that should match. NNA training says if the instructions that you're given contradict your state law, you should not be doing it. The NNA says you should not be going into the documents beyond the scripts that they provide, because that will be considered the unauthorized practice of law. So anybody training me should not be training me into doing anything that's going, one, in my opinion, outside of what the NNA says, since that's the governing body that we need to get certified through. Because I can put together a certification course, but Griff certification means nothing to any of these lenders. It might mean something to a title or escrow company here or there, but it does who I may have a relationship with. But it doesn't mean anything to the whole body of it doesn't mean anything to the mortgage industry.
But there's certain companies, Griff, that require you to have specific types of training certificates before they will even allow you to come onto their signing company.
And then those are companies that don't, and then okay. But then and then here's the thing.
Yeah.
See, this is my question. How many training courses do I need to take before you feel comfortable with me doing a signing? Because if I follow my state guidelines in notarizing the documents, and the NNA tells me what I do, and I follow them. Mm-hmm. Okay, now you want me to take Earl's training system, Earl's notary essentials or whatever, his thing that is not endorsed by the NNA, is not anything related to the NNA. Okay, what is Earl teaching me? Earl is teaching me this. What does what Earl have to do, what he's teaching me have to do with me actually doing my job as a notary? The loan documents, if I'm incorrect, please somebody correct me. The loan documents are a collection of individual documents.
That is correct.
So that means somebody could come to town right now with just a deed and say, hey, I sold my dad's house. They said I need to get the deed notarized.
That's correct.
Ain't got nothing to do with you being NNA certified. It has everything to do with you being a commissioned notary. So what is Earl teaching me in his course that is going to empower me? Note what I'm saying, empower me and give me the confidence to do my job as a notary, which is to notarize those documents so that they can be recorded. If his thing is about, hey, make sure you say this about the document, make sure you lay it out this way, start with these documents first and then start with those and then finish with those. Okay, my thought is, well, how about just organize the documents in the order that you want me to go? Why do you put all the documents that you want me to start with first at the back? And now I got to pull them out to the front. And then if I don't pull them out to the front and send them back to you, you're going to take money from me. Cut. Listen, I'm like, what does that got to do with me being a notary? I do everything that I'm commissioned to do correctly, but you're going to punish me for not being an admin assistant for you. Because I'm being an admin person. I'm like, okay, so in other words, what you're saying is you're only paying me this high fee for the administrative stuff that you want me to do. But I don't want to do the administrative stuff. I mean, that's your role. Everybody has a role in this here business. So So is that my role? Because I was commissioned. I was never commissioned to be a notary signing agent or a loan signing. I might be called that, but that was not why I got commissioned. The state didn't commission me saying, okay, we'll commission you just so you can do these loan closings. No, I'm commissioning you, the state of Virginia, so you can be a notary to notarize important documents in the state of Virginia for its residents or those who come in the state, irregardless of what they are. So therefore, legally, according to state of Virginia, I don't really have to know the contents of the document. I mean, I could, but I don't know, because if somebody came to me with a power of attorney that was 150 pages, because you could get that, 150-page power of attorney or 150-page will or 200-page trust, do I really need to be able to explain to you? I'm going to explain to you what's in. No. So you come to me at the last minute with a loan document for 4 o'clock. I get it at 3:45.
Yes.
And I'm brand new. And now you're expecting me to be able to accurately and effectively guide the person to make sure that they understand what they're doing after they spent 4 months working with a loan officer, an escrow officer, a title officer on this. And I'm just coming in at the end of the movie. And now the pressure's on me to make sure that they understand. I'm like, okay, well, what was being done prior to me getting there?
Right.
Who was making sure that they knew what they was doing prior to me getting there? Right. And that's where it's at. And I know that's a controversial point for a lot of signing companies, a lot of title companies, a lot of instructors, because they want this professional part. And I keep telling people, I would say I'm not totally against the document presentation aspect, but what I am totally for is you being able to make sure the documents get notarized correctly, because that's what your commission, without that commission, you wouldn't even be there. So even if you took all these other people's training, if you don't have the NNA certification, which means you can't even get NNA certified if you're not commissioned. Correct. So without the commission, you could take anybody's training course. You ain't going to be able to notarize nothing. Right. Because you don't have the commission. So if you can't do what you are commissioned to do correctly, accurately, you're no good to anybody. Now, my goal is to help people get that together. You get that together. I don't care what you present because I'm not there with you at the signing. Correct. So you can say whatever you want about the documents. Just know that if you go across that line, whatever that don't go into legal advice line is, which means then you need to talk and do some research. Say, hey, tie signing service, according to y'all policy and everything, what is going into legal advice? If I start talking about these documents, what do y'all consider legal advice? What is the level in which you want me to go ? Yes. Here's the thing, and this leads into another one. A lot of notaries call me, but they won't call the title company. The reason why they won't call the title company, the reason why they're jumping into Facebook, going back to that other question you asked, yes, is because their training has told them if you go to the title company, they're going to think something's wrong with you. Yeah, that's baloney. But the title companies I talked to, they said they would prefer you to come to us. Call. They want you to call. Griff, they'd rather you call than you screw up a loan document, right? Right. You can cut it off at the head by calling, hey, I don't know what this document is. I've never seen it in my life. Can you please help me? And that's what we're supposed to do. But training and other people and mentors, that's why I say it's fake mentorship, because true mentorship will be like, okay, well, let's get down to the bottom. Let's get you the answer. Yes. Instead of saying, well, don't act. And I mean, like one person told me, they called me because they said, well, I was told to call you, Griff, because the person who I did call told me they would answer my question once I've cashed apped them $100. What? They told me that. They told me that. People call me, Griff, and I don't charge people. I have people call me at 9 o'clock at night. Like it's, I don't get it, right? And I think what people need to understand about mentors and coaches is not just about the material, it's about the mindset and them pushing you into the mindset for you to be successful. So it's just not about loan documents, but it's having the ability to say, you know what, Griff, I understand what you're going through. I understand that you've tried to do X, Y, Z, but let's try to tackle it a different way. Let's pivot, right? Mm-hmm. It's just not about you taking my money and then that's it. I think
when you're a mentor, you're building a relationship, a lifelong relationship. That's what I feel.
Correct.
Right.
And that is correct. And that is
Okay.
correct. You're
Okay.
there for them for the long haul. You're
Yes.
there to make sure that they are successful. And that's what I want to see. And again, when it comes to training, the training has to put you in a position of success. Now, the training that is out there is putting you in a position of success for as marketing the business.
Yes.
So you can be successful in marketing. You can give all the gift baskets, the gift cards, all of that kind of stuff. You're going to be successful in that.
Okay.
But after you've done that and they say, you know what, we're going to give you a shot. Will you be able, again, will you be able to notarize the documents accurately and correctly so that when the title and escrow company gets the documents back, they can record it and everybody gets paid? When you got somebody getting $150,000 cash out of their equity for whatever reason, you better make sure them documents get executed right.
Okay.
Because they might be dependent on it. My very first closing, the guy was refinancing. I think he was getting like $47,000. And I remember that because of the reason why he said he needed it. His wife was sitting on the couch when it came in. And he said, I'm doing this refinance because my wife has COPD and she can no longer go upstairs to go to bed. So I'm going to build a bedroom down here for her so she can have a place to sleep. That's when I said, this ain't no side hustle. That was my first closing. I was like, this is some real stuff. This is affecting real people. I'm like, bump all that. No, okay. I mean, my mind shit. I was like, you know what? Let me take this thing much more serious than what I thought I needed to.
Yeah.
Because it's affecting. I'm sitting here. You go into a house and you see somebody. They're they darn near bedridden, or they're more so housebound and can't get out. I'm sitting here like, okay, this is some. I'm working with this lady, and every 3 pages she had to take a break because just her whole health, she couldn't keep signing. And I said, ma'am, just take your time.
Yeah.
And that's why I said you got to have the compassion. I mean, I'm sitting here with a woman last week. She had early onset of Parkinson's.
Okay.
And she was really feeling bad about how her signature would look. And I said, ma'am, take your time. I said, I ain't got nowhere to go. Go for it. And I just sat back and I just let that woman take her time. And she was like, thank you so much for being patient with me. That's what you have to do. Now, again, understanding proper notarization. I walk into 90% of my signings right now. The person has already seen the documents and they're telling me what's in the documents as I'm opening the bag up. They already know because they said, yeah, they let me see the whole document. I go into one Friday, my last one on Friday. The lady's like, come on in, you sit there, I'm gonna sit here. And she said, give me a few minutes while I go finish reviewing the documents. I'm like, they had sent her all 126 pages.
Are you serious?
I'm sitting down. I look over. I'm serious. I look over to my right, and I see her computer screen, and it had the deed of trust up there. She was going through every single page. She said, "Just give me a few minutes." She was going through every. What is there for me to explain or to try to present? You see what I'm saying? What is there? So at that point, this is understanding my mindset. At that point, I'm like, okay, all I gotta do make sure the proper notarization. There was other people that I came across. Matter of fact, last week or week before last, I walk into the house. The lady's like, yeah, they gave me I already went through all 143 pages. That's how many pages I had. And she said, so well, there's really nothing for you to tell me. I already went over everything. Everything looks good. I just need to sign. And her husband started reading. She said, honey, stop reading and just sign.
But
And
I
he was
love
like,
those signings, Griff. I love those signings.
so here's my thing. If the industry is shifting a little bit to where they're getting the borrowers more than just the CD, they're getting them the whole loan package so that they can review. So now when you come on the scene, why are you trying to bump your gums and go through this here spiel when the borrower is like, hey, the example I always give, I go to my favorite restaurant and I say, hey, I already know what I want. Go ahead and put the order in, because you know how let me give you some water and I ain't got time. I want the gyro with French fries and this, that, and the other. So go ahead on and put that in and then come back. I already know what I want. What frustrates me more, what really frustrates me is when the waiter refuses to just go ahead on and take my order and is bent on, well, let me give you the soup of the day, the entree of the day, the crumpets of the day.
I don't need all that.
I've already told you. I said, and I get it. Okay, you're new here, right? Yeah. Okay, got it. You're new. Got it. But understand, I don't need to know all of that. Okay. They're not going to fire you because you didn't tell me all of that. What I need you to do is go put my order in, because I'm having a conversation here with somebody and I don't need to be constantly interrupted. Matter of fact, you can bring the water.
I'll take
when
that.
You bring that, you can bring me the water or just bring it later. But right now, and then I tell them once they bring the water, I say, you don't have to keep coming back to fill my glass. And then they keep coming. I said, you don't have to come back. I'm good. I've already told you. And I see them walking. I'm like, I'm good. I put the hand up. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah.
So you go in there and the borrower tells you, oh yeah, I've refinanced 5 times. So there's really nothing you need to tell me. I just need to sign the papers. But here's what the problem is. We want to execute what we've paid for. I paid for training. I paid for those sample loan docs. I paid for this. I paid for that. And now you're telling me I can't execute what no, I'm going to. No different than a parent who sends their kid to college. You pay for college, and then they come out talking about, I'm gonna do like Bill Bellamy and be a comedian after being you're going to go down to social services and get a job for at least 3 years. We're gonna get something out of what we paid for. We're gonna get something out of it. Period. But that's what's happening. And I'm like, nah, you got to understand the flow of the situation you're in and be like, okay, well, you know what? If they don't need me to say anything, and that's what I was in. I was like, so then what else is there for me to do? And I was like, well, really the only thing for me to do is what I was commissioned to do, which is what? Notarize the documents.
Notarize, sign, and witness.
That's it. So I'm like, if I make that happen, and then and let's just say the signing company calls, and sometimes the title and the lawyer, the loan officer will call, well, how was the signing? And if they ask him, well, did he explain this, that, and the other? I'm like, and if they say, well, no, he didn't explain anything because we didn't, we just wanted to sign. And if they come back at me, I'm like, hey, I got to give them what they want. I said, is the documents executed correctly? Well, yeah, but we would prefer you not to do a point and sign. Okay, I get that. No point in sign. But if that's what they want, who am I to force them into something that they don't want? Now it's going to come back like, oh yeah, that notary, he was so daggone aggressive. He just the lady I did before the 143 page lady, I met a lady at the Panera. She said, I've done this 5 times. So there's all you need to do is hand me the documents. And the way she said it, I said, something more to this. So after the signing was over, we still got done by 2 because I was running late because of traffic. Right. So I got there about 5 after 1. We was done.
Did you call her before you got there?
Yeah, I had called her and everything. She knew and everything. So she was like, no, take your time. I said, okay, cool. So I get there 5 after 1. We was done by 1:50. Okay. And it was probably 130 some pages. And I said, well, man, we got y'all done. I said, well, I just try to focus and get y'all, signed and everything. She said, good, because the last notary I had just wouldn't shut up. She said I had to tell her to shut up and just let me sign.
Dang, word?
Yeah, that's what she told me. See, I picked up, I was like, it's something more, because just the way she said it was like, I'm a pro. She said, I'm an old
She
pro
was
at
already
this.
done from the previous
Right.
situation. Yeah.
So she was expecting me to come in like
Do
this
the same.
other notary. So
Yeah.
she was setting the tone like,
Yeah.
dude, keep your mouth shut, hand me the papers, and then we'll be out of here. And I was like, okay. Now, again, a quality of a notary, you need to have situational awareness.
So let's talk about this, Griff. So real quick, I'm gonna go back to that question. So we've actually gone an hour and a half. All right.
Oh.
It looks like people are still on. So I'll go a little bit longer. I'm not really doing anything else on Mother's Day. My mommy is in Louisville, Kentucky. So happy birthday. I said happy birthday, happy Mother's Day to my mom. But I wanted to touch base on just a couple of things.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So the first thing is, one, I want to be able to plug you so people can get in touch with you.
Oh, okay.
So what is, I want to flash it on the screen. How can people reach you?
All right. For as a phone number, you can hit me up at 757-797-5432. That's my Google Voice number.
Okay.
And for as email, they can hit me up at notary help at griffinnotary.com.
Notary help at griffinnotary.com. Okay. The next question I have for you is, and these are going to be quick questions, and then we'll get back into the conversation. Mm-hmm. You are doing some training right now with loan documents, et cetera, right? How can people get involved with your classes?
The way I've been doing that is I look at my schedule, because I'm still doing notary stuff full time.
Me too.
I also have an IT consulting business, so I have website clients. I build websites.
Because that's what I did in my previous corporate. I was a product manager. I dealt with software developers and quality engineers and built software and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I host websites, build websites. Like this weekend, I had to not do any training because I had 3 clients. One client that I'm finishing up their site on, and then the other 2, they needed me to guide them through some stuff because they manage their own site, but I'm hosting it and everything. Right. I had to do some training with them to show them what to do so that they could update their stuff. One of them was actually my accountant's wife. She's 60-something years old, so she's managing her own site and everything, getting that together and all of that. So when it comes to the training, what I do is I look at my schedule. Okay. And say, okay, I got these days available.
You sound like me.
And I'm gonna do training here, 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 here.
That's exactly
now.
Yes.
So like this upcoming week, I'm not doing any training. I want to so bad, but something my gut is saying no. Don't do any training this week. Focus on your notary stuff, because see, I have a goal of trying to pull in about $4,000. As close to $4,000 as possible between the 1st and the 15th of every month. My minimum goal is $6,000 a month. Okay. And I've calculated that if I can pull in $4,000 at the first part of the month, then I can sort of somewhat chill at the latter part, because at the end of the month, that 22nd through about the 28th, that's when they get hot and heavy trying to close out deals. And that's where you get a lot of $100 plus orders. Yeah. So I said, okay, if the $100 plus order is going to be there, I need to be able, I need to have made as close to 6,000 as I can by the 15th of the month, so that if all I need is another $2,000 or $3,000, I can do that in about 8 or 9 days, maybe 10 days, and maybe even sooner, and then just chill.
But how can I get with you though, Griff?
So the way I'm doing the training is I post it whenever I do the training.
On your YouTube channel?
Yeah. When I do the training, I post it, I put it on the YouTube channel and let people know. Okay. And then if they go to the site, griffinnotary.com /webinar, which I got to update that because the training link that's up there now is not active. The training is over. Okay. So if they go to griffinnotary.com /webinar.
Say it one more time.
griffinnotary.com
www.
Yeah, or without the www, either one.
griffinnotary.com /webinar.
Webinar.
Okay.
So on that page, that's why I launch it. And I'm trying to do it as fair as possible. So that's why I let people know ahead of time that,
Yeah.
hey, so maybe like on a Tuesday, okay, this Friday, I'm going to be announcing the thing. And then I'm doing small classes, 15 people per
Yes.
class,
Yes.
because I've learned that, I know other trainers are trying to get the maximum amount of money, the maximum amount of
That's
impact,
correct.
but I'm more concerned about people actually learning
Correct.
and being able to ask questions and getting those
Focus
questions
groups. I
answered.
call them focus groups. It's the same
Right.
thing I do with my apostles. So I'm having like 7 to 10 people in a class because it allows people to be able to ask questions, engage. You make sure that you got what I'm teaching you. You understand what's happening, right? And you can
Right.
walk away knowing that you've actually succeeded. So yes,
So I do the 15. So I do the 15 people max. Once it's done, once the 15 in there, that's it. Now, anybody who can't make the training or whatever, I get with you offline. And sometimes, like, I got 2 groups that I'm getting with this week. And this week is really makeup training for a lot of people who forgot they had technical issues or whatever. So
right.
then I'll be sending them out a link to do makeup training with them and everything and all of that. So right now the training is basically helping people to understand 2 things based off of what people say. Everybody keeps saying, I don't know how to figure out or understand where the signer needs to sign.
Okay.
And I don't understand how to notarize the documents.
Okay.
So that's all I focus on. Now,
Okay.
I'm not getting into any kind of state specific stuff,
Correct.
but what I've learned is that the notarial statements that are on these loan documents are the same ones that everybody is seeing across the board.
Correct.
Everybody is seeing stuff that says on this date, the foregone instrument was acknowledged before me by, and then there's nothing. Or on blank, before me blank, the undersigned officer appeared blank, ... You know what I'm saying? They're seeing this, and then in your mind, and here's what I talk about, the notary tunnel vision. You're new and you're like, okay, I don't know what to do with this because I'm seeing 5 or 6 different types of notarial statements in a loan packet, and I'm thinking that they're all different, but they're all asking the same thing.
Right.
Now, here's one of the things that I found out. A lot of notaries have purchased or been given loan docs to review. There's nothing wrong with that in and of itself. The issue is notaries are actually trying to memorize the whole loan pack. And then when they see a real one, because it's not a one-to-one match, they're freaking out and saying, bump this, I ain't doing that closing, because they have conditioned their mind for everything to look like this. So they get a VA refi, a streamline that might have 85 pages, and then they get an actual FHA that might have 165, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is a problem here. This is And one lady told me she bought a 20-page loan doc, which just had critical docs in it. Got a 153-page actual signing, and then canceled it because the 153 didn't match with the 20. And I'm like, why did you do that? She was like, well, I thought it was going to be like the 20 pages that I bought. That's what I thought. And I was like, what made you think that? I mean, okay, again, and this here goes back to the pricing thing.
Okay.
If you got thousands of lenders, thousands of title companies, and thousands of signing companies, and they can't come to grips on one consistent way to make the loan documents, how in the world are they going to come to grips on lowering the pay for everybody? If they can't be on one accord with that, which is to me more important than the pay part, it would be great if they could all say every loan doc is going to look like this. Every loan, every title document is going to be this way. The loan document is going to be that way. And every signing company is going to operate the same way. Then you might see some more consistency in the pay.
Okay.
But everybody's doing their own thing because what? Each state has their own regulations. So documents have to be done a certain way. Louisiana, Texas, all of these states have certain things, witness states, non-witness states, all of this is different. So the notary has to be able to free flow and like, okay, like the Dr. Tech said, let me go back and call the title company. How do y'all want me to do this? And if the title companies or the signing company started giving you some beef, it's like, yo, wait a minute. I'm in Virginia. This is based off of Texas. I'm trying to do this correctly. Help me help you by showing me what's
Jerry Maguire. Help me help
right.
you.
Because here's my thing. A lot of the problems could be resolved on a note for the notary at the signing table if somebody would take time out based on their experience as a signing company or even a title company. Oh, these are the problems that we've had. Well, let me put these instructions out to mitigate that. Now, like coast to coast, here's what I would do. If I was a signing company, before anybody did a signing for me, I would give them some documents so they can review and get familiar with before they took a single signing with me. I don't see why that can't happen.
Why can't it?
Because because you got to want to do it. Because if you're a title company or a signing company and you're doing 5,000 signings a month, that means you can get your hands on a FHA, VA, conventional, seller's package, reverse mortgage. You can get your hand on every single one of those type of documents that your company uses. Now, if you want to be a notary on my team, a part of my company, here are these documents that we typically see. Doesn't have anybody's information in there, but now you're more familiar with the format and the flow. So here's a zip file, download them, open them up. So when we send you that such and such loan pack, you should have already gotten yourself together, because here's like one of my favorite ones is Armor Settlement. I love the way their documents flow. I see Armor, it's like, okay, boom. I know I got this, I know I got that, I know I do boom, boom, boom. So if somebody had that ahead of time and they can review that, so now when you go to do one for Armor, you should not have a problem because you're more familiar. I think that would be great if the signing companies or maybe NNA or somebody does that. And I was trying to do that, but when I learned that people were sitting here taking that from a standpoint of, oh, I'm gonna memorize this document and apply what I memorized from this to every single loan, I was like, nah, I don't want to be the cause of no confusion. So I sort of backed down from doing that per se, and everything. But that's just a business thing for me. I mean, no different than when you with a W-2, what do they do? Here's my policies and this, that, and the other. Here's some training documents. Here's some things. This is how we do this, that, and the other. Okay, do that same thing for the loan documents. You got 5 companies you work with. Their documents look the same way every single time. Give me a copy of that so I can review them and get familiar with them before I even take a signing with you and sign off on the fact that I did that. So now when I go to do a signing, I shouldn't be as tripped up as I would be had I not seen any of that beforehand. Okay. And if I'm still tripped up, then that means I probably didn't do my self-study like I should have.
Okay. I have to agree with every single thing that you said. So this is what I want to do. We have some questions, Griff.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to get to those questions, and I think I'm going to end at 1 unless y'all have more questions. But if y'all have more questions, then I'll keep going. Like me and Lisa, I don't know if you know Lisa Durham. She's in the Facebook groups. We were on here for 2.5 hours, Griff, answering questions galore, right? Because I feel like if people take out the time to watch and they take out the time to put questions in the chat, we should take out the time to answer all questions. So I will do my best to get to every single one of y'all. But let me just go back. Find Griff. His only social media at this point is YouTube. You can reach him on his cell phone, which is Google Voice. You can also reach him via his email. And also, if you're looking to get into his training, this is his website that you can go to. There was questions in regards to my apostille training. I am still working on getting the list. Round 2 is happening. starting on the 15th to 22nd. As y'all know, I'm a one-woman show, so I'm doing my best to get to every single one of y'all. It's only $20. So if you are interested in the apostille class, just hit my Instagram, the Abnormal Notary. Give me your full name, your state, and then I'll let you know how to pay for the course. All right. And I had good feedback, just like, with Griff. Griff has good feedback because we're here to provide information for y'all. We're not here to try to rob y'all, scam y'all. We are here to be your support. So I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying this casual brunch conversation with Griff, the notary, and myself. Y'all know I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I am here for y'all. All right, so let's get to the questions real quick. And also, if y'all don't know Clubhouse for iPhone, make sure you get into my new club room. It's called the Abnormal Consult. I will be transitioning that to a podcast somehow, but we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. All right. So make sure you guys get tapped into that. All right. So let's get to the questions, Griff. One of the questions really earlier in the show was, what do you put on your profiles? Right. So if you're starting out new, what do you put in your profiles? Like, how do you set it up? What do you say? How do you get these title companies and signing companies to accept you?
You tell them how you're going to solve their problem. One of the places I look at profiles, if you go to notaryresume.com, put in your zip code and search and just look at the people's profiles. I'm an NNA certified notary. I do accurate work. I'm an on-time notary. Okay, now put your mindset into a signing company. What did that just tell me? Did that tell me that I know that they're going to do scan backs? Okay, they say they're on time. Don't know what they're on time about, but are they going to deliver the documents on time?
Right.
I will go back and correct anything that I may have did an error on without upcharging you. I won't double side print the documents. I won't email the documents. You see what I'm saying? Say stuff in there.
That's the key word, Griff, is how me being a loan signing agent. Yeah, you can have all of these skills and whatnot, but most people don't care about that. They want to know, what can you do for me? Right? How can you be a part? Because this is the thing, a lot of people get in this business and they find title companies or lenders and they go direct. They're like, oh, I got a client. But what they don't understand is you're becoming a part of a team. Right. That's why when you're doing loan signing, you become a preferred or favorite notary because of the level of work you've done. So it's becoming a part of it. It's just not, oh, I just got this client, I'm going to do their work and then go on to the next one. So what else would you say about the profiles? Okay.
The main thing is put your times in there. Like when I was working a full-time job, I told them, I said, I'm Hampton Roads #1 nighttime notary. I'm Hampton Roads #1 nighttime notary. I'm available from 5 p.m. to midnight, Monday through Friday, all day Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. I've done so many holiday signings, and if somebody calls you and asks you, "Are you available?" Yeah, and it's okay, great, cool. And I said, keep in mind that I do. If you need me anytime after 5 o'clock, I'm available. So I will let them know when they called me. But in my profile,
buffering problem.
I would update.
You there,
yeah, I'm here.
All right, looks like we're having some buffering problems. Okay, I think we're okay. Can you see me? Y'all, can y'all put in the chat that y'all can see me, Griff and I?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
You can see me? Okay.
Yeah, I see that nice little cool part on the left side of your head.
Oh, you know what? My hair was so long. It was like down here, and then I had some issues with my pitch and whatever, so I had to chop it all off. But,
Yeah, but it looks good.
Thank you, Griff.
But the main thing about the profile is communicate that I am here for you. Like in my profile, I say that I don't have a problem doing signings at a church or at an office or wherever, that I'll meet them, in an area that's comfortable for them. I don't have a problem working with seniors or people with disabilities. That's the kind of stuff that I communicate. I don't have a problem doing signings outside, weather permitting. I had to put that in there because a lot of people started like wanting me to do signings out in the daggone rainstorm. I'm like, nah, that ain't happening. But I tell them that, hey, I'm willing. I tell them a distance that I'm willing to travel. I'm willing to travel this. And if you want me to go further, I need at least 48 hours notice. So I'm telling them that I am available. I'm willing to work with you. I'm willing to do, and my focus is helping you get these closings done. I understand how to properly notarize. I don't give legal advice. I don't leave the documents with the signer and go do another signing and then come back and then notarize. I don't do that kind of stuff. Okay. So in other words, if those of you who are in Facebook, you hear the foolishness that notaries are saying they do, craft your profile to go opposite of that. You don't need to be sitting up there. Yeah, I'm Phi Beta Kappa. I'm a Delta. I'm Omega Phi. Okay, what does Omega got to do with you doing notary stuff? Yeah, I'm a 15-year veteran. Okay, that's nice. Just because you was in the...
They don't care about that, Griff. No. They don't care about none of that.
They don't. So I'm sitting here like, okay, tell me how you're going to be a great notary and get the job done so that the document, I tell them, I say, documents ship out on time, all of that kind of stuff. That's what you have to communicate. On my community tab, somewhere in there, I have that information. And then I did a video called Your Profile Will Separate You from Them. That's what it's called. Your profile will separate you from them. And the them I'm talking about is the Pandemic Notaries. I'm just going to be, I'm not trying to put anybody down, but I call them the Pandemic Notaries because all these people done popped in during the pandemic and they acting a pure T fool. And I've been hearing whispers about people, quote unquote, retiring from the notary game. And see, here's the sad part. I'm gonna have to go down this little rabbit hole here.
You can go for it.
The sad part is that there are people out here, and I talked about this. They hopped on here trying to be a notary because it was a good way to make some quick money and to get themselves actually monetized. Because in their other life, their other channels, they was monetized a little bit or barely, or they couldn't get monetized at all. If you want to get monetized, hop on and start talking about notary stuff. Folk will join and they will listen to you. And now they're trying to transition from doing notary stuff to whatever else and take that monetization that they made from notary into another life so they can still get that money and hope that you will stay alongside. And I'm like, okay, so you sat up here after 3 months talking about you gonna mentor people, convince people to pay you, got monetized, and now you're gonna leave. You're gonna leave. I'm like, that ain't right. That's why I did that live stream the other day. I was mad. I was like, that ain't right. And that's why I said, y'all got to make a decision on how you're gonna run your business. Bump all this here stuff. I'm like, I will be at your door. I'll be like, hold up. Why? Where you think you going? You ain't gonna quit notary nothing. I just paid you gonna keep I just paid you $150 to be my mentor. You gonna be my mentor.
You gonna be my mentor. Like
you gonna be no. That's like a woman get pregnant, a guy like, I don't know if I want to. No, you gonna be the daddy. Your butt gonna be the daddy. Where you think you going? Get your butt back over here. No different than parent women. You got that girl pregnant, get your butt back over there. Finish what you started. And a lot of people have jumped in here and now they're seeing that they themselves can't make the money. And maybe they're having a hard time making the money because they got errors in their notarial work because they didn't learn how to be a notary properly. They learned how to be a business promoter, but not how to be a notary. And now their business is suffering. So if you look at the fees they're asking you to pay for their help, it's a signing fee, $150, $200. They're asking you to pay them what they can't get paid. I know somebody ain't gonna like that. I know they ain't gonna like that. I mean, I know you ain't gonna like that.
It's all right.
Now, what other questions you got for me?
Let's get some more questions. Okay, so one of the questions, there's so many. I think I'm gonna have you back, Griff, and Miss Lisa. I think that would be a dope conversation with the both of y'all because she's real just like you are. There's so many. I don't even know where to go. Okay, so here's one. When do you all swear in your signers? So do you do it before you start your closing, or do you do it after your closing?
The best statement that I can say is, first get with your state and find out how they want you to, because that state may have specific information concerning that. So if your state says to do it this way, that's what you first go for. Same thing with recording in your journal. Go by what your state says first. Find out what the state says before you find out what any other notary says, unless that notary is in your state. Okay. Now, for as what I do, you can do it one of two ways. Laura Brewer and Carol from Notary Pro, they both have two different thoughts. And one says do it every single time you do an affidavit. The other one says
I don't do
it at the beginning. Okay, they say do it one time and remind them. Yeah. Because and I get both sides of the house, because it's no different than if you went to court and they did they swore you in for court, and then they say, okay, we're gonna take a 15-minute recess. When you come back, what do they say? Remember, you're still under oath.
Yes.
They remind you that you're still under oath.
Same concept.
Same concept. So they have not released you yet. So to me, unless there's some state regulation or federal or worldwide regulation that says you can't, you possibly, based on your state, can say, do you solemnly swear, affirm, ... or you do it every single time.
Okay.
But I always tell people, first check with the state to see what their guidelines in, even so much if there's a particular wording that your state may have that they want you to say. And if you find that out, then you execute it that way, and then you're covered. Because that's what it's all about, making sure
you're aligned with the general notary work or loan signing. It just depends what you're okay.
Yeah. Because again, the notarial statements that you see in a loan doc, you could see on a will. The notarial statement itself. And as I tell people, you're notarizing affidavits. Those are sworn in. So all affidavits get sworn in. So he's like, well, what documents I notarize? The deed and all affidavits, and anything else they slide up in there. Errors and omissions. Yeah, correct. Deeds and affidavits are the main ones. And then you might see a errors and omissions agreement that needs to be notarized. You may see corrections agreement. Limited power of attorney may need to be notarized. Well, that's going to be notarized, and any kind of funds, proceed funds.
Yep.
So that concept of talking about where there's only 5 documents that has to be notarized, which I don't know where they get that from or who.
I don't know where they got that from either.
If you do a signing for Boston National Title, you're going to have at least 8 notarizations in there outside of the other stuff.
That's
and I've been in there.
5 Avenue 365 is the same way.
Yeah. And then I think it's Simple Signings, which is a great company. They're going to be 200 pages though.
What?
They're going to be they're paid. It's
so
200 pages.
400 pages, Griff.
I know, but they got consistent money, $90 to $100.
Okay.
And once you get familiar with their flow, but let's go into here. The reason why I like Simple Signings is because when they do the deeds and some of the other documents, they have a notarial statement for the wife, and they have a notarial statement for the husband. From a tax standpoint, each time I stamp the document, that's $5 that I get to deduct off for my self-employment tax versus one time. So if the order is $90 and I'm doing 13 to 20 stamps times 5, that's the money that I get to deduct from my self-employment tax. That doesn't get taxed. So yeah, it might be 200 pages, but at the end, I might not have to pay any money on that fee for self-employment purposes because of the fact that I get to deduct $5 for each stamp.
For your notarial.
For my notarial act. So I'm cool with, I don't like the fact that I got 215, 20 pages, but shoot, 13, 15 stamps times 5. and you deduct that from the fee. It's like, oh, okay. So all I had to do is, so when tax time come, I'm only paying $30, paying for the 35, paying shoot.
Yes, exactly.
That's why it's no problem doing a $60 order or 75, because if you got a lot of stamping in there and you get to deduct that money for your self-employment tax, and you get the 50 cents a mile deduction for driving there and all of that, I'm like, how do you not make out? You just made money.
Just made money.
So let me hit this here for you. I'll put it this way. You're not going to be successful in this business if you're trying to base what you're getting paid in this business on a per hourly rate. If you're saying, I got a 10 o'clock order, I got my documents at 9 o'clock, or let's just say 8 o'clock, I printed them. It took 35 minutes to print. Shouldn't, but it did take 35 minutes to print. And then I drove there, and then I came back, and then I dropped it off. So that meant I spent about 3.5 hours doing this, and then deduct this and deduct that. All I made was $7 an hour. Then don't do this business. Because true business owners don't look at, a business owner doesn't look at how much he made per hour. He looks at how much he made in revenue for that month to pay his expenses. W2 people are per hour.
Yes.
So keep in mind, as a business owner, so when Ty's talking to a title company or a signing company, she's not talking to the business owner. She's talking to the W2 employees. So that's why you can have some conflict, because you're in the mindset of business owner. They're in the mindset of W2, and W2 does what the business owner say. So therefore, they're trying to get you to conform and act like you're a W2 when you're a business owner. Correct. And the only time you'll have a conflict with a business owner of a signing company or a title company is if they look at you as a W2. They don't respect the fact that you're a business owner.
Yes.
Even though you're independent notary.
1099.
So right. Yep. So you are a business owner, independent, not a W2, and you are constantly in communications with the W2 people. So that's why the W2 people at these companies are so antsy and can have attitudes, because all they know is, I'm getting paid to get this job done. And you're not working good enough. You're not doing what I need, because what's going to happen? The boss going to say, Kylie, why did this document not get done? When is this closing done? I thought it was done, supposed to have been done 15 minutes ago. So Kylie's worried about her not getting a bonus. Kylie's worried about her not being able to come back the next day, because that's her W2. You got a different mindset. You're like, hey, look, it took a little bit longer. I got other closings to do. I'm gonna get the scan backs as soon as I can. Yeah. And they're like, but I get rated based on how well the notary performs. You're like, I'm not worried about you getting rated. I'm worried about getting to the next job. Because in order for me to make money doing this, I can't take one signing a day. I got to take 4 or 5. You see? What's the next question?
Next question. Griff from Diane. Griff, going full-time notary, what is the one thing you would have changed on your journey to say goodbye to your W2 job?
Oh, man. Being more organized.
Oof. Say that again.
Organization.
I'm the most disorganized person ever in life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting like, I got to go through. I got some orders that I got paid for that I don't have recorded anywhere. I know I did them. So now I got to go back through my bank account and see when I got paid, so I can mark that I got paid. And then I'm sitting here like, oh, and it was from BankServe. And I'm sitting here, BankServe's paid pretty quick. And I'm sitting here like, oh man, I did 2 orders from BankServe and didn't even record the fact that it was on my calendar. Yeah, so I done got paid for them, but I don't have them recorded in in my database. And I'm sitting here like, okay, that's not good. So now I'm doing a lot of catch up to make sure that I got recorded, that I got paid. I mean, I think there's some checks out there that I still haven't I haven't received, and I have sent an email. So now I got to go back and be like, hey, what's going on with this here? I mean, because there was 2 orders that got canceled, but they're still floating in SnapDocs, like on the vendor pay, like they're getting ready to pay me.
Right.
But then when the payment date comes, then it shifts, and I'm like, okay, this has been going on for about 8 months now, and the orders got canceled.
Oh,
So I'm like, either you're going to pay me or you're not, and I'm like, I don't, it doesn't matter either way, but y'all still got them floating out here. So I've contacted them. They've been trying to run down stuff, and I got to go follow back up. But the main thing is being organized. I was organized to the point of a part-time person. I was not organized to the point of a full-time notary. So anybody that wants to go full-time in the business, you need to start trying to get organized from the standpoint as if you're full-time. And the main thing you got to keep track of is your schedule, knowing whether you can take an order. So like this week we're in now, I'm already looking at, okay, if an order comes in for the following week that's coming up, can I take it? What do I have going on? So the following week that's coming up is going to be the week of the 17th. You need to know right now whether or not on the 17th at 4:00 in the afternoon, you can take an order. You need to know that. So when it comes, you can just hit accept or I'm available. No thought, you got to be mindless in that. I'm already booked for something on the 21st. Came in the other day, I already knew I had nothing going on for the 21st. I hit boom and I got it. And it was for like $80. I don't care, because to me, $80 on the 21st is better than no bucks on the 21st. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I put it this way, if somebody is willing to give me an order that far out, I'm taking it.
Mm-hmm.
If they're offering an order that far out, I am taking it. Darn it, I don't care what the price is. I'll even take a $60 order. If you tell me right now, yeah, we got an order for the 28th at 4 o'clock, I'm going to do it. Because to me, that builds a relationship with that company.
Right.
And I got $60 coming in on the 28th. Okay. That $60 might be the $60 that I need to hit my $6,000 limit or my $7,000 goal. I mean, I have no reason not to.
Yeah, I think that with the W-2 mindset, I always tell people it's about creating money, not chasing it. I used to do the 9 to 5. I don't regret it. There's a lot of people that still do both. And I applaud y'all, because that's a lot of undertaking to do. But with the W-2 piece of it and the organization that you mentioned, Griff, I feel like it's very vital for you to understand who you signed up with. Because a lot of people say, hey, sign up to 100 companies. I'm against it personally. But if you start thinking you start thinking about the organization, you start thinking about all these signing companies that you have went out and done a job for, but yet you have not recorded that you did the job for them. You don't even know if your check has come. I will tell you, when I was doing it, I got so busy, I forgot I was receiving checks. I forgot that some companies were supposed to pay me, because I was taking accountability that, hey, you actually are a business owner. You have to attack your business as a true business and making sure you're recording everything so you're getting paid. So I think I have to concur with you with the whole organization piece. I think it's vital to any business that you start. Without it, you are lost.
Yeah. Now, going back to what you were saying about being a business owner,
yes,
I believe that is the biggest problem right now, that people aren't looking at themselves as a business owner. Yeah. As a business owner, you are responsible for everything to make it work right. Yeah, Notary Earth is on point. Notary Earth is on point. I gave them some information to add some updates in there. So some of the updates that y'all seeing in there, like the ability to denote that you've done, that you've received the documents, because like a lot of these databases, you don't have anything that lets you know that you received the documents, whether scan backs are due, or even that what else? It was the scan backs, the documents, and that you confirmed. You know, sometimes you don't even know if you confirmed. If you go on SnapDocs, yeah, you confirmed it, but there's nothing that denotes that you confirmed it. Signing order does, but not SnapDocs. And then SnapDocs only shows you the documents for the orders that come through them, not for the orders that you put in. So you're like, okay, well, do I have the documents or do I not have the documents and everything? So me and the guy talked, and he did a lot of the updates that I did. I'm going to be using his, and I'm gonna put his stuff in. I'm using Notary Assist. Haven't had a problem with Notary Assist. Great tool. I never got into doing Notary Gadget, but I'm gonna also try Notary Earth from the standpoint of the more of the tracking thing, because I need to know when you get to the level of doing 4 to 6 a day, you need to be able to know whether or not you call somebody. You need to know whether you got the documents or not, and you need to be able to see at a quick glance whether you got scan backs. Them 3 things I need to know. And when I don't know those, I am spending too much time trying to figure it out. But the big thing is that when you look, if you're working for Optima Health, and then Anthem calls you up and says, hey, we have this job over here, it really costs you nothing to apply for Anthem except time. Costs you nothing, but it costs you a lot of money to start this business.
Right.
And that's why I believe so many notaries are freaking out over how much they're getting paid or should get paid, because they put in $2,000, $3,000.
Yes.
They borrowed money.
Yes.
From auntie and uncle and all of them, bragging that, oh yeah, based off of the infomercial, I'm gonna be getting paid. And then they find out, oh, I'm in an attorney state in Georgia, or I'm in a title producing state, and the trainee didn't tell them that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So so now they're embarrassed, and it's like, okay, an order comes in for $75. Yeah, I'd do it for $150.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to make back every dime that you took. Most people, when I talk to them, they're talking about, well, when I'm going to make my money back? The money that I took out of my retirement account, the money that I took out of my life insurance, I have not even had a chance to pay that money back in. Have I made it back? Yes, but I ain't worried about it. Everybody's worried about, I took $3,000 out and I need to go and put that back. Sometimes as a business owner, that might be a couple of years down the road. It might take some time. But and a lot of people are trying to get it done in 6 months. Okay, so let's say if you're trying to get the money back, then you got to take orders. You can't make you're trying to, well, I need the $200 order, but you can make $3,000 in a month off of $65 to $85 or $95 orders. Would that be better? And the problem is, a lot of people, put it to you this way, if you don't want to work, if all you want to do is make $6,000 off of 3 signings a month, this ain't the business for you. And that's where a lot of people are at right now. They don't want to do 70 or 80 on signings a month.
No, they do not. I'm one of them. Don't you know that?
Yeah, and that's fine. And then, okay, that's fine. But if you don't have anything else that you can do to bring in revenue, then you got to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So you got other things that you can do to bring in the revenue. So if your goal is $8,000 a month, then okay, cool. You got this, you got that, you got that. But if all you got is the notary, or you're trying to go full time with the notary, you got to get some experience, and you got to go out here and hustle and let these companies know that, hey, I'm here for you. But
go ahead, Griff. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Don't go for it.
So I always push Notary Go. Notary Go really, I don't want to say they suck, but they kind of do. Like, their customer service is really not that good. But Notary Go, I always say use them, because they will accept brand new newbies off the street. Like, they don't care, right? And I think they know they're notorious for newbies that come on. So I think that if you can get with Notary Go, some people say I don't get any business, but it also depends on your area, that type of thing. So I agree with you. I agree with everything that you're saying. There was a question though, Griff, on Notary Earth. So I'm going to touch on that real quickly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say too much about it. So I was a part of Notary Earth. I know Alex Leon. He is the COO of, or the CEO of Notary Earth. Unfortunately, I parted ways with the company. The product itself is amazing. So I would always push people to do that. I gave him some ideas in regards to apostilles and authentications, the workflow and all of that jazz. So if people are using Notary Earth, that came from me. So I want y'all to know that. But he's always looking to get more information, to build the product, to make it more user-friendly and for you guys to be more organized. So even though I've parted ways with Alex and Notary Earth, the product itself is still good. And the apostle authentication thing, that is my niche. So I will be doing more things with that outside of my apostle training. So I just want y'all to know that. But if y'all still with Notary Earth, still go with it. I'm just not a part of it. So that's that. All right. Okay. What else do we have? One more. They keep coming. They keep coming, Griff. So what do I use? I don't use nothing right now. I'm still using old school Excel. So I'm still trying to figure out, but Notary Earth is good, Kimberly. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just use it. It's a startup company. But he's trying to do his best to get all of your ideas, just like Griff said, into the product. The apostles authentication thing is in there, but again, my idea, but it is what it is. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's get to some more questions. We're already at 1:10, y'all. I would like to go have me a beverage. What are you about to say, Griff?
I said I'm chilling. You know me. I'm chilling. I'm loving this because my goal is to help people.
You like it? I mean, a whole casual conversation, like how we're doing it, and just rocking, just Jane. All right.
The big thing is how to I know one of the biggest questions is how to make money in this business. The way you make money in this business is by doing the things that bring you in money. I took orders. Yes. If you look at the map of the Norfolk area, I live in Virginia Beach. I went from Virginia Beach over to the Eastern Shore. Typically, depending on what area, it's a 3-hour round trip plus $28 in tolls. And I got paid $100. However, and that was through a company that was with Signature Closers.
Okay.
But after that, I was getting tons of orders from Signature Closers. Now, I will say it's been harder for me to get orders with Signature Closers because there have been so many notaries.
Yes.
And everything. You got to be quick.
You got to be fired.
But I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that because I got work coming in from all of the other companies. So the other companies know that I'm doing it. And see, by you doing the work, every year that I've been a notary, as a signing agent, I start getting more and more companies that I didn't hear of or didn't know existed the year before.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that, y'all. As you get to 50 and 100 signings under your belt, and then as you get closer to having a year of experience, a true year of experience, you will start seeing other companies. That's why I encourage you to put your information into SnapDocs. Also, a part of your profile, state how many signings you have done outside of just waiting because see the SnapDoc order, let's say if you get 15 for SnapDocs, SnapDoc says these are the number of orders you got through them, but nobody knows about the other 40 or 50 that you did outside of SnapDocs. So I put all of that in SnapDocs and I actually I put in there, I have over 1,000 signings. And then X amount, and like right now, I should say 448 are from SnapDocs. So a little less than half of the signings that I've done are from SnapDocs. The rest of them come from outside of SnapDocs. So that's telling the companies, oh, you actually are working with other companies. And if you look at my profile on SnapDocs or even on Notary Resume, I have a list. I list the different companies that I've done closings for.
Ah, that's
I actually list them.
If you look at
I list so they'll know, oh, you did from here's the reason why. Let's say you got Armor Settlement and then Simple Signings. Let's say somebody did some work, they worked for Armor Settlement. They might not have ever used you, but they did some work and they was working in a different branch. You know, they were working the West Coast branch, you East Coast. But then they get into Simple Signings. They go from Simple Signings to Armor. And then when they go to the next company, they see in your profile, oh, you did do work for Simple. I just never met you. that might say, okay, well, let me give you a shot. And then they call their contact back. They say, hey, Nikita. I'm just using Nikita because that's the name I see up there at the bottom. They say, hey, Nikita. Yeah. This Angela. That Griffin guy. Have you done work with him before? Yeah. He's good. He's good. Okay. We're going to use him over here with Simple. So now one company sees that you've been working with another company. And if those companies have respect for each other and they know that, look, we know if you're doing simple signings has 200 pages. Shoot. I'm gonna give you even more thing.
Yeah.
When in the beginning, I actually used to list the number of signings that I was doing with the different companies. So if I had Armor Settlement, I've done 15 with them. I've done 10 with them. I've done 1 with this company. I put time into my profile. I put time into it. And I even went to the degree of staying, and I had up there, I said, I've done 18 refis, 10 sellers, 15 purchase, this many reverse mortgages, this many loan apps. I just called it loan apps. I just did this many. I actually would list it out in detail how many I did. So when I put my orders in SnapDocs, whatever the order number is, I'll put dash refi, dash loan app, dash seller, so that I will know what the order is. And then I go back and I count it. I'm like, okay, I've done this, I've done that. And then I will update my profile to reflect that. Then copy and paste that profile across everything. Now, I don't do it on LinkedIn. Bill Soroka and that crew, they have a whole thing about the LinkedIn thing. I don't mess with LinkedIn that much.
I don't either. I'm on it, but I don't either.
Yeah, I don't really mess with LinkedIn that much. But for as the signing companies, whatever profile that I have on signing order is on SnapDocs, is on signing agent.
Replicated. It should not change. Yes.
So
that's what I preach to.
On Notary Dash and all of them.
Yes.
Now, to make money in this business, you got to do the work. I suggest that you take loan applications, you do debt settlements, you do loan modifications, so that you can get at minimum comfortable going through the process of getting yourself ready to do an order. Just go through the process, because yes, you could be sitting there like we are chilling now and get a notification for order on Sunday for $200 because the notary that's supposed to have did the order got sick. And you are the most faithful, not necessarily lunatic, but you're the only person that they're hoping to be faithful to go do this order, because when they look at it, they say, oh, you're about 20 minutes away from them. Hey, Sharon, can you go do this order? We're going to pay you $200. And if this is your first order and you've bypassed all of these other opportunities, you're going to be pooping on yourself, because now you got a $200 order from a company that you've been trying to get orders from. And you like, what do I do? And now in your mind, you're going to be reflecting on all of those orders that you didn't take that could have prepped you for this. So I know I've done over 50 loan applications in the last 3 years. And those loan applications got me prepared for the refi. Why? Because basically every single page in the loan application, you're going to see again in the refi package. So you're now more familiar with them. Loan modifications are excellent. Yeah, they pay $30 to $50, but a lot of times it's only one thing that you got to notarize, just the loan modification agreement. But you get comfortable being in front of the person and going through the process. That's also a good way to test out your printing skills, to make sure you're printing stuff right.
Yes.
Debt settlement. I know that there's some sleazy companies out there, but that ain't my concern.
Yes.
Because I will tell you this. Yes, some of those debt settlement deals could be questionable, but here's the deal. That person is doing a debt settlement because they need to save their financial life. They trying to settle the debt that they owe for whatever reason. And if they don't do this debt settlement, more than likely the only other option for them is bankruptcy.
Yes.
So if they don't, so now you're like, well, I ain't doing it because I don't trust them companies, that company that's doing these debt settlement. I don't like. Okay, I look at it as loan mods and debt settlements are very important.
Yes, they are.
Loan and the debt settlement is keeping their financial together.
Yes.
So when you say, no, I'm not going to do it, okay, let it be because they only paying $30 and they want me to drive 2 hours. I get that. But if it's like within your drivable reach to do it, however, well, I don't trust the company, or for a debt settlement, I want to get paid $80. Why? What's the justification for giving you $80? Well, I'm worth more. I hate to say it. Be quiet. I don't want to say it. Be quiet about it.
Shut it down.
Okay, rabbit hole time.
Let's do it.
Rabbit hole time.
Let's do it.
And this is coming from my ministry viewpoint, from when I've dealt with counseling people. Okay. Whether a man or a woman, when an individual is constantly talking about trying to, in my opinion, and based on my experience, when they was talking about their worth and their value, it's because people in other areas of their life are devaluing them. So they go into another area and try to obtain value in that area based on the fact that they can't get the necessary value that they believe they should in the previous area. So whether it's in a relationship between two people or a job or whatever, I'm not getting the value that I want financially at my job. So I'm gonna come over here as a notary and you're going to pay me my value, my worth. But the problem is you haven't done anything within this industry, within this realm, to give a person any inspiration to pay you this money that you say is going to give you your worth. If that's the reason why you're doing this, so that you can feel that you are worth something, then you have a bigger issue at hand. There's a bigger issue at hand. Maybe you need to go back and deal over it. That's what Dr. Phil would tell you, and that will Ayana Fix My Life. They would tell you, okay, wait a minute. Don't come over in this relationship because you got mommy and daddy issues over there. You need to get mommy and daddy issues fixed, because coming into this relationship with me,
it ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna work, because now you're dealing with me because of the issues that you got with them. So you got a problem with the fact that your job won't give you a raise, but now you're trying to come over here in this industry and make up for that by overcharging everything you do. And there's a lady in my area, and I can't remember her name, and I hope she gives me a call if she's looking at this, and she'll know who I'm talking about when I say this. She was telling me that she started in October of last year, and every order that she received, she upcharged. She countered and never got an order.
Yeah, I don't.
You can't keep upcharge. You got to go do the work.
People say that though, Griff, in the Facebook groups. People would be like, "Oh, I'm not going to take that. You should counter. When I counter, I get them." I'm like,
and they're lying. They're lying most of the time.
See proof.
That's what I'm saying. You got to give me proof. Correct. Because there's a lady that I know now, in northern, I believe she's in Northern Virginia. Me and her talked for 2 hours, about a week or two ago, and she said she got 200 orders under her belt. And the moment she started asking for just $5 more, the number of orders that she was getting offered dropped. And she was like, "Well, what's wrong with them?" And I told her, I said, "Stop countering. Just take it
what it is.
Just take it and go with it.
That's it. That's
all you gotta do.
Don't take it. If you think you're gonna have to upcharge or whatever, don't take it. Because this is my thing. There's a lot of people that get into this business because, again, you saw a commercial or you saw that you can make $2,000-$3,000 a week, but without having the understanding of what the hell you're actually getting into, right? Because you're believing the hype. Yeah. And I think it's important. I don't know. I just think it's important, Griff, that people truly understand what they are getting into. Some people say loan signing is just a title. I think DR Tech said that. Some people say that it's a business, but I think it's all about your mindset and how you go into it. Period. So these Facebook groups and they're saying this, that, and the other, it's a bunch of bull crap, Griff.
Well, I think they're doing it to distract you.
Yeah, but why? When we're all trying to eat together.
They don't want to eat together.
But why?
Because they're scared of competition.
But why?
Because because it's something internal inside of them. They don't know how to deal with competition. They are afraid of true competition. That's what it is. They are afraid. So how do I deal with competition?
Griff,
I lie to who I think my competitors are, and I distract them and I misdirect them. Yeah, you need to ask for more money. Yeah, knowing that the
then
moment you
hell,
do,
you gonna receive.
it's going to be a negative on you, and then you come in there. No, I'll take whatever you want, and then you look like the king while they looking like the Joker over here. But they're basing it off of them. That's why I said you can't believe these folk.
Can't believe
You
that.
cannot believe them. You're believing people. You literally are believing people who have no true interest. Let me look. Relationship. The word is relationship. Relationship means the root word is what? Relate.
Relate.
You can those people truly relate to you? Not necessarily because of your social economic status and all of that, but do they relate to you in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah.
And they're sitting here telling you. I mean, how do you find it? That's the part that, you people will say that, call me narcissistic and condescending and all of
Oh, I
that.
saw that before too.
But
Oh
my
well.
thing is this: what's more narcissistic than somebody telling you, go over here and pay $500 for this course, then come back to me and pay me or pay them $200-300 a month for mentorship, and then come buy these little doodads that I'm selling. Now, after you've done that, don't take an order or anything that can make you money. So I'm telling you, I'm extracting money from you. I'm telling you everything to do to have money coming out of you. But anything that you can do to put money into your life, I'm saying don't do it. That's narcissistic. That's condescending. That is scamalicious there. That's what that is.
You say scamalicious.
Yeah.
I love
That's
it.
what that is. Because
Love
I mean, here's my part of my goal is to get you to think.
Mm.
Think. If you just think, okay, I'm a notary, I've taken this training, I'm in a Facebook group, and everybody in there is telling me don't take the orders. Okay. But I'm sitting here getting notification after notification that says 85, 65, 95. And I'm seeing in 1 week, I'm seeing 75 of those. But during that same time, I'm only seeing 10 orders for $100 or more. So that ratio is a little off here. So then I hit on $100 orders, all 10 of them, and I don't get selected for any of them. Okay. And then I do, which I don't really agree with per se, really at all. And I'm gonna explain why. So I do the thing that they say, well, I call the company. If I don't get it, I'm gonna call the company. So I call the company and start nagging them about why I didn't get the order. And then they tell me, well, you really don't have enough experience. So that's why we didn't select you. Okay. And what I learned from one company is the signing company said, well, we don't have a problem selecting you, but our clients have a criteria. So our clients say, the title company say that you have to have a certain amount of experience. And then the title company can say, well, our client, the lender, says you have to have a certain amount of experience. So even though we would love to pick you back going to the signing company, who we are sending you out to go represent or to do a closing for, you don't meet their criteria. So therefore, you need to go ahead on and take the other orders that we offer so you can get the experience, and then we can select you. So common sense would say, if 80% of the orders I see are under $100, why wouldn't I take those to make money? Why wouldn't I? If my goal is, so that's why I did the video on my channel. I did the video. What kind of notary are you? A signing? Are you a per order notary or a per month? Because if you are talking about you want to make a certain dollar amount per month, you're going to have a different mindset in how you approach these orders. If you're talking about a per signing, you want to be able to brag at the Thanksgiving table. Yeah, I'm getting $100 an order. Well, how many orders you get in a month? Like 3, 4?
Three or 4.
3, 4, you know. Oh, yeah, it's Griffin Notary Services. The channel is Griffin Notary Services to Miss Diana. You know, so I'm sitting here now. One of the things I have noticed, and maybe you have, is that a lot of the notaries who brag about how much they're getting per signing, never talk about what their monthly goals are.
Oh no.
And any notary who does say I made this much per month, they don't talk about what their monthly goals are, what their actual goals are. Because as a business owner, you're supposed to have financial goals. What are your goals? If you went to go get a loan, they're going to ask you, what is your revenue goal? $100 per signing. Okay, that don't mean what does that mean? I'm trying to make $6,000 a month. Okay, if you're trying to make 6,000 times that, carry the 2, square root the 1. Okay, so we can loan you this amount of money. We can loan you that amount of money. I can't loan you money off of $100 a signing. Okay, then how many signings are you able to do? Are you doing a month that's at $100? 7. Okay, so 7 minus this, minus that, divided by this, take that. Okay, we can give you a negative $5,000. So in other words, we ain't giving you nothing. I mean, we're really not giving you anything because you ain't making no money. What is your accounts receivable? See, that's what I'm saying. People don't understand. Your accounts receivable. How much are you receiving? We don't care what you made per signing.
What's your profit and loss?
Yes. But you can't have any kind of profit. You can't even have a loss if you don't have anything coming in. Well, I lost this amount of money. Well, you can't. You ain't brought in a dime for you to even put in the calculation to say, after this, yeah, you got expenses that you've incurred to get started, but you don't even have monthly expenses because you ain't taking any orders, because you ain't printing any paper, you're not using any ink. So you got nothing. So how you plan on running a business and you ain't even doing anything? That's the part that doesn't make sense. So my best advice is learn how to be a notary. Understand that correctly according to your state law first. Because guess what? Here's the secret. Let me lean into this. Let me just lean into this for y'all. All of those other training companies out there that are non-NNA, check this out. They still gonna be there waiting on you. They're gonna be there waiting on you. They waiting on you. They waiting on you. They waiting on you. So they don't care when they get that money from you. They want to get that money. Yes. So it ain't like it. Oh, well, if you don't come to me today, we won't take your money tomorrow. They're gonna be right there to take your money on Monday through Sunday. Okay. So you learn how to be a notary first, get that down pack, and then you go learn the business side of the house. Yes. Stop running to learn the business side when you don't even know how to do the business. You don't even have being a notary.
Go through the process. Do not go around the process.
That's it. So I mean, you do that, you'll be fine. I mean, you're not. Well, I'm scared that I might not. Oh, oversaturation of notaries.
No such thing.
No.
No such thing.
No.
I'm saying again, no such thing.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's an oversaturation of people who are notaries that want to make $100 or more. Notice what I said. There's a saturation of people who are notaries that want to make, not are making, but want to make $100 or more per signing. There's an oversaturation in people sitting there waiting for that, which means anything that's under $100 is wide open.
Wide open.
Wide open. Now, let's go into this. If you are concerned, which a lot of people have said, I'm concerned that when the mortgage industry shifts and changes and adjusts, that notaries won't be able to make money. True. Okay. So then as a business owner, what do? You set yourself apart by doing what? Showing them, one, developing your skills. Pivot. Two, yeah. So doing the work, you show you develop your skills, you learn more about the industry, you learn more about the documents, and then you're showing them that you can be relied upon and counted upon to do the work, and you do good work. Now, if anybody out there is interested in making sure that they understand the flow of the real estate market and all of that, check out the Minority Mindset channel. That is
Ooh.
an excellent channel, the Minority Mindset. It's a guy from India named Jaspreet Singh, Minority Mindset.
Is it YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
Minority. I can't spell it.
Yeah, Minority Mindset.
Mindset.
I've posted some videos in my community tab. He talks about the mortgage industry, about the stuff like they trying to come up with a 40-year mortgage. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I ain't worried about whether it shifts, because here's the deal. Here's the deal. Everybody thinks that if the interest rates goes up, that, oh, there are not going to be as many refis. True, to a degree. There might not be as many people trying to refinance who are at 2.8, because the lowest they can get is maybe a 2.5. Or they might be at a 3 or 3.2, and the lowest they can get is a 2.8. So they might not refinance because interest rates going up. However, there are people out there that are at a 4 and a 5% interest rate.
Yes.
And if they go from a 4 or a 5% interest rate down to a 3.5 or a 3, that's still a savings for them. That is still a savings for them. Savings is a savings.
Yes.
10% savings is still a 10%
Still
savings.
savings, regardless.
It's still a saving. So that means that, okay, cool. Then when I listened to Jasper on the Minority Mindset, he was talking about the fact that they might come out with a 40-year mortgage. Okay, so people who are refinancing now at a 2.3 for 30 years, the interest rate goes up, but then they might be able to refinance to a 40-year and drop their monthly payment. Might have a higher interest rate, but they still could drop. But because of the extra 10 years, they could still drop their mortgage rate even lower. So who's to say they won't refinance? You can refinance it to whatever you want. There's nothing said that you can't refinance it to a higher interest rate. Or the people who wanted to refinance into a lower interest rate, but for whatever reason, debt to income ratio prohibited them from doing that. But now with a 40-year mortgage, it may open the door for them. So now you have a whole nother slew of people who could refinance.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you make yourself available for that? By not being a pandemic notary, by going out there and doing what you need to do.
You should put it on
being a good notary. I know. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to become a good notary, so that when they're like, oh, well, all of a sudden we got all these 40-year mortgages coming in, the process for you as a notary is still the same. Verify, notarize, stamp, get paid. Verify, notarize, stamp, get paid.
Somebody put it on a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. If y'all put it on a t-shirt, y'all know y'all, oh man, I do know, and I will come at you. I will be in your house, in your bank account, for every dime that you make off of anything that I say. So let that be known.
I already have a statement that I use all the time. Yeah.
I will come get you.
I will.
And I will throw this out there. If anybody has ideas for his wanted to do for his intellectual property, there's a young lady named Andrea Evans. She's an IP lawyer.
Okay.
Look her up, Evans IP Law. Andrea Evans IP Law. I started following her when she was on Periscope. That's how long ago this been.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You look up Evans IP Law.
Trademarks and copyright too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does copyright, everything. Evans IP Law. Andrea Evans. That woman is awesome. She is the bomb. I just threw it in the chat. She is the bomb. Anything dealing with IP law, intellectual property, all of that, she's it. Okay. She's the one that I suggest that you go to and everything. I love that woman. She is excellent.
Awesome.
But I know this much. I know this much.
Yes.
With any job, any business, any industry, if you take it serious, and focus and put your all into it. Put all that you know you're able to do into it, you'll succeed. If all you can do is do part-time right now, then take as many orders as you can while you're part-time to build your repertoire up for full-time.
Yes, agreed.
If you actually have the ability to do this full-time, and on both cases, part-time or full-time, sit your family down and talk to them and say, hey, look, mommy, daddy, husband, wife, I have an opportunity here. And there may be a phone call that come in. And you might hear some woman on the end. It ain't no Nate like call. It's Kylie from such and such company offering me $200 to go do a last minute signing. It's Brett from such and such company that's offering me $125 to do a signing. So if there's any trust issues between you and your boo, you need to start working that out. You need to have a conversation with them and say, look, if you need to put a tracker on my phone, so fine. I know that's extreme, but I'm just saying, you know, it's like, okay, if you got these kind of issues, honey, then look, okay, you can track me while I'm going to make the money. If that's what it needs to take, then fine. Okay. Then fine. I will get a burner phone so you can you ain't putting it on my real phone. I got a burner phone so you can track this burner phone and I'm gonna go make my money. Okay. And come back so you can sit there. Look, there's several men that I know, not from the standpoint of they don't trust their woman. They just want to ensure their safety and they want to help them out. So they actually will go on the signing with them and sit in the car while they go in the house and conduct the closing.
Yep.
And one lady I know, she has bad eyesight at night. So he drives her and takes her to the signings when it's dark, especially during the wintertime when there's less light out. So you have those things. You're like, okay, honey, come with me. There's a Starbucks or a Kroger around the corner. Go over there, eat and everything while I go do the signing. If that's what you got to do, that's why I said, those who can't, how will you? You got to figure out how will you make this work? And that's what I did. And going back to what I said earlier, when my Gazelle shifted to 8 to 4, there was times where I would go into work early. Because that pandemic, I'm here at home, I will go and start work earlier. I might have to take a little bit extra lunch, an hour and a half lunch, so I could do a signing that was around the corner from the house. All of a sudden, the signing would come up for 12 o'clock around the corner. I eat at 11. Okay, I'm going to just have to eat at 12 and take a long lunch. Do I have any meetings? Nope. And then come back and work some extra hours to make up that time. So I shifted with my Gazelle. When my Gazelle shifted, I shifted, and I was still able to bring in the 3,500, 4,000, even 5,000. And then when things started sliding back to, okay, well, signings was coming in for 5 and 6 and 7. That made it easier for me. So my Gazelle started poking his head back out and like, okay, well, I'm gonna do a 7 o'clock signing. I was on it. And there's been, and I was at the point where I was literally working from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, then doing signings from 4 o'clock till 11 o'clock. And then the evening orders that I was getting was because notaries was canceling them. A notary would get an order for $85. And then another order would come out for $110. They would cancel the 85 that they was booked for to take the 110.
Wow.
So that left a gap. So what happens? Hey, Griff, yeah, this order was supposed to happen at 6. Well, I can get there at 8. Okay, fine. So now I'm at 8. Then all of a sudden I'm doing an 8 o'clock one. Yeah, we got this one at 9:30 because the notary canceled. I'm doing it 9:30. And then I'm coming back and I'm up till 3 in the morning getting ready for the next my next work day. Because it was one or two things. Don't make the money for the notary business, which is what I was trying to build the business, and then go ahead on back home and finish up, you know, my daytime job stuff and get my reports and all of that stuff done for the next morning, or make this money and just let go of a little bit of sleep. And I'll be up at 3 a.m. doing my thing, and then get right back up at 6:30 and do it again. And I went 4 months operating on 4 hours of sleep a night, and that was 7 days a week.
That today, Griff, I get like 4 to 5 hours a day. That's
Yeah.
all I get, man. That's it.
So I mean, I was like, I said I got to, because I was going to go full time last July. But when the pandemic hit, I said I'm gonna stay with my job a little bit longer. But then when my manager told me, and I was saying, look, man, there's some crap going on that I don't really like putting up with. And he said, well, look, Griff, sometimes you gotta decide how much crap you're willing to put up with just to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
So the next day I emailed him and said 0%, I'm out. I was like, I mean, he asked me an honest question. I gave him an honest answer.
Right.
He asked me, he said, you have to decide how. He didn't say how much do I want to put up with. He said, you have to decide. So since you put it on me, you said I have to decide. I decided that it's 0%. And since I was already matching my W-2 job net on the gross side of notary, the gross in notary was matching and surpassing what I was making net with my W-2. I was like, well, shoot, if I can pull $5,000 in gross, and I said, the thing is, what's getting in my way? This goes back to, if you can't, how will you? Well, what's stopping me? I said, this job is in the way. I can easily do $7 to $8,000, but the job is in the way. And when that happened, I said, that was on the 6th of November. 13th, I said, I'm out. And I told him, I said, I'll be out next Friday. Y'all got it.
You had a plan of action, sounds like.
I already had a plan. So to go full time in this, you got to put together a plan. And then once you go full time, you got to be willing to adjust your plan as you see fit. So this is a wonderful business, a great industry. And I don't take, and again, I'm not throwing shade at any other notary trainers out there.
It ain't shade. You're speaking truth, Griff.
I recognize where they are at, and you have an obligation to recognize where they're at and what level of training they're going to give you. And then you say, okay, the training that you're giving me, how does it help me toward the core of what I'm supposed to do, which is making sure these pages are notarized correctly?
Yes.
And if their training goes just this far, then you got to find a way to get the rest.
Yes.
And when you do that, then it all will work in. I'm not saying the information that they're giving you can't help you, isn't good. What I'm saying is, if it's not applicable for your situation, if you're in Georgia or an attorney state and they're talking escrow stuff, then either they or somebody got to figure something out, because you can't go trying to implement escrow state tactics into an attorney state. You cannot. It's just that simple.
Facts.
You can't go to McDonald's and get their hamburger and they go pay Burger King.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't go learn how to make pizza at Pizza Hut and then go try to go to Papa John's and do the same thing. Two different things. You can't, you know what I'm saying? So you got to understand what your state says, and if their training will help you within your state, great. If it won't, then you got to find the training that does. So for those in Georgia, y'all need to hit up Samantha Smith, the Georgia Notary Association down there. She's on point. I know for Texas, you need to hit up LaShawn. I keep forgetting LaShawn's last name, but the Notary Institution, that's who she gonna get me for saying that online. Oh man, I should have said that. I'm in trouble. Okay, I owe you one, LaShawn. I keep forgetting her name, but she can help you out in Texas.
Jenkins.
There you go, Jenkins. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So and all that. Oh yeah. Now I also have the giveaway stuff.
Okay, let's do the giveaways real quick, because I want to wrap up. Again, guys, if y'all have any other questions, I think I saw one about Ron. I think I saw one about let's do it. Ron, and I think one about the travel. So Griff has taken sorry.
However you select the people, you select them.
Okay. Why'd your video went foggy, Griff? Like I can't see
Yeah, I
it.
noticed that.
Yeah. No, it's still
Hold
foggy.
on.
All right.
Hold on. I know what it was. It was my.
Mm-mm.
Probably when I did that
What'd you
book.
do? Oh, the book joint?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still foggy. I don't know. That's all right. It's all good. Okay, so let's do some giveaways, Griff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's show your books. Your first book is by who is that? I'll let you talk on
This
it.
here is called Mindset, Carol Dweck.
There you go. You coming in now.
Yeah, Carol Dweck, PhD. I first heard about this book from LeBron James when he was with the Miami Heat. And he said, yeah, Eric Spoelstra has us reading this book called Mindset. And it talks about having a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset, you say, this is all I have and this is all I could ever be. A growth mindset talks about how you're going to grow into doing whatever it is you need to do. Very, very good book. Very good book.
All right.
The next one, No Excuses by Brian Tracy, one of the country's top salesmen. Bottom line, you got to have some self-discipline and you can't make excuses to get to where you need to be.
I like
awesome book.
I like it.
Then this one called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Okay.
How to have, he says, one of the things he said, I hope I'm quoting it right. He said, you don't rise to the level of your goals. It's the level of basically the process. Okay. So you can have goals, but it's your systems. It's the system that you have in place. So you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your system. So if the system you have in place isn't correct, so you can have the goal of going to work out, but the system to go to work out.
Yes.
What is your system to get you to work out?
Yes.
Well, I don't have a system, but I have a goal to work out. If you don't have a system in place to get you to work out, so them 3 books have changed my life. I learned about James Clear on a channel called London Real. And on that channel, they talk to a lot of millionaire and billionaires, and they talk a lot of some political stuff, but they talk a lot about how to be successful, how to get your mindset right and everything. And these 3 books, I got 3 sets that I'm going to give away to whoever you pick and however you pick them and everything. And then I'm going to throw in another giveaway. Being that I'm a webmaster and that
Let's get it, Griff. Let's get it.
I do my own web hosting, therefore I can host anybody. Now, I'll be honest, I don't have time at the moment to really dig down and build any websites, but I have all of the stuff. I'm sure you're familiar with Elementor and Astra Themes and all of that, WordPress. So I have the whole full suite. So if there's anybody out there who had the ability and the time, or maybe they have somebody else that can help build them a website, I will, for 3 people, and I will reserve your domain name for 3 years. Okay, that's a $39 value for 3 years each. And for 3 years, you will have the website, and you will also have email with it. Now, it's not going to be the fancy Gmail type email. It's just going to be the basic webmail type stuff. But you will have email, and you can have as many email accounts as you want. You have unlimited space. You will have a full WordPress suite with Elementor and Astra themes that I will keep updated for you. And you can have all of that for 3 years to give you an idea of whether you want to really do this business or not. Okay. So 3 different people can get the books, 3 different people can get the web hosting, however you decide to do it. Okay. And when it comes to the web hosting, all I need them to do is to contact me, and I will give you the email address to contact me at. It's going to be different for that. My IT consultant, I type that in here.
What is it? I'm gonna put it on the screen too, Griff.
Okay. It's SCG at griffinconsulting.us.
It was SCG Griffin Consulting.us.
Right. Yeah. SCG
Yep.
at griffinconsulting.us.
Oh, at. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. At griffinconsulting.us. So, and I've been wanting to offer, I know a lot of people, I see them on, the website this place and web hosting this place and all of that. And because of my schedule, I was like, I wanted to offer this to people before, but I was like, I just don't have time to get in there and to build the website for the people.
Mm-hmm.
I can assist you and guide you, on an ad hoc basis, but I just don't have the time, especially now that I'm doing the teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a matter of, okay, do the teaching or do the website thing. And I feel that the teaching, helping the notaries out, is more important than me sitting there building websites for people.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, and I already got clients that I'm working with. Okay, now, and see, typically what I do, because of the way I run my business, I try to help out small businesses. So normally what I do is I normally just charge 100 to like maybe 150 a year, normally about $100 a year, and you have the full web hosting and can do whatever you want with it. Comes with the emails, all of that, because a lot of hosting companies, they don't provide you emails. You got to pay extra for emails.
That's an add-on.
That's an add-on.
Yeah.
That is a true add-on.
Yeah.
I see my lady Robin in here. Now, Robin, let me tell y'all something.
Where you see Robin?
Robin Jameson Moyer.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, she just popped in. Now, Robin, I know yeah, I know, lady. Here's what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She called me a couple of months ago,
mm-hmm.
and she was in need of a printer, and she couldn't find one anywhere. And due to the fact that I have an Amazon account where I have a 30-day invoice, I said, do you have the money for the printer? She was like, I have the money for the printer, but I can't find one. And I said, you know what? I got you covered. So I went ahead on and ordered the printer for her, had it shipped to her, and now she's out there doing her signings. See, people like that, this is what's going to make the notary business strong. People like her.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying this to brag about myself or anything, but I'm saying this because there's somebody out there that claims that they want to help notaries out. This is how you help notaries out.
And don't just
what you sow in them.
Yeah, but this is my thing too, Griff. I'm a D-roll real quick. Don't say you're going to help, and then when they reach out to you, now you're complaining about it. Like, if you're going to help, be consistent and help regardless. Right. Period.
And I'm proud of her. I am so proud of her.
That's awesome.
And she paid me the money back over however long she took. I told her, I said, whenever you can. And I said, because I can hear it in her voice. And I was on my way to a signing. And I said, text me your address. And while we was talking, I went head on and ordered the printer along with the tray and had it sent to her. She got it. Then we got together and helped her get it all set up, and boom. And she's off and running, and she's doing it. That's guy awesome. Out there in California, young 18-year-old guy named Amit. I don't know if he's on here or not, but a young guy named Amit, he called me and he did what I told him what I tell everybody to do. I said, just take an order. When you see one, take an order. He was at the gym. He was at the gym, came back to his phone after working out. He said, I realized that this order's been sitting there and it was just sitting in the queue for 30 minutes. He said it was a 30 minutes. And he said, and it looked like nobody had taken it. He said, so I just did what Griff said and I just hit accept. It was a loan. It was a reverse mortgage application.
Mm-hmm.
He took that first one. I think by now, that was maybe 6 weeks ago. He's probably at 15, 20 signings now.
Mhm.
Once you start, it rolls, it rolls, it rolls. Yeah, and I tell you, so that's what I do. But if anybody outside of this, if you are truly interested and have the ability to be responsible, to put forth the effort, to build the website yourself, outside of the one she free, like I said, I only charge $100 a year. That concludes all of the hosting, the emails, the domain name registration, everything. I'll be more than happy to help you out. But if you're looking for a thing of somebody to do it for you, although I can, I'm not in that time space to do that right now. But if you need help and all of that, I can. I have the time. It's weird. I have the time to help you when you have a question about something, but to sit down and stop everything and to build and all of that, I don't. But a person will have everything they need. And you're familiar with the WordPress and all of that and everything. And I have the full agency suite of Elementor, Astra, all the things, everything you need, boom, 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 and all of that. So the books, 3 different sets of the books, and then 3 people who will get web hosting for the next 3 years.
All right, so this is what I want to do, because we're at 2:00. All right, and I don't see any other questions in here, Griff. So what I want y'all to do, I typically give you questions to answer. So there's 3 books. There's 3 books, and we're going to wrap it up, Griff. If you cool with it.
Well, they're going to get all 3 sets. They're going to get 3 sets of these.
So
3
one
books.
person gets all 3.
Yeah, it's 3. Okay. It's 3 sets. It's 3 people that's going to get all 3.
Okay, so do me a favor. Put out a question real quickly for someone to answer.
Okay.
Put you on the spot. I
know.
While Griff is thinking about the question.
All right, here. All right.
While Griff is thinking about
it, got nothing to do with notary.
I think you have the question, but before he asks the question, y'all, I just want to tell y'all, thank y'all so much for staying in and sticking with us. We've been on here for 3 hours and y'all have been consistent with sticking around. So I appreciate each and every single one of you. If you are not following this king, please follow him on his social media, the Griffin the Notary. He has trainings. He has given you his Google Voice number. He has a plethora of information and just an advocate for people that are willing to put in the work. So for every one of y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for following me, being a part of the Abnormal Notary tribe. Y'all know I'm crazy for Cocoa Puffs, but I do my best to try to get y'all the information that is needed for y'all to be successful. So Griff,
the first question, it was, what's the name of my wife's business? And the person named Day hit it.
One more time. Say the question one more time, Griff.
It was, what's the name of my wife's business? And Day, the person, D-A-Y, got it. Sharpen your skills with a Z.
She got it?
Yeah, whoever Day is, the D-A-Y.
D-A-Y.
That's the person. Yeah.
So whoever it is, hit up Griffin. The email address, I'm going to give it to you real quickly. Do you want to give the notary help one, Griff, or you want to give a different one?
Yeah, notary help one be fine.
All right. So the winner of the books, please, Day, hit up Griffin. He going to give you those 3 books. And I'm jelly, but it's all good. All right. One more. So you're going to give 3 people hosting. And I'm going to tell y'all something real quickly. Hosting is huge. Okay. You can build a website. You can have all that stuff. But if you don't have a platform to actually hold your site, it is null and void. So for him to give that away, I think that is amazing. So Griff, 3 questions.
All right.
Wendy's like, I didn't even hear the question.
Okay. All right. So now the books. Now remember, I said I'm giving 3 sets of these away.
Oh, 3 sets. So it's not just
3
one
set. No, it's not one. It's all 3 of these together.
So then I don't know who else was the. I see Diane. So Diane, you hit up Griffin, and the other person was Robin.
Hey, it is what it is.
There it is.
So whoever you call out.
All right. So Day, Diane, and Robin, you guys have won the 3 sets of the books. Please email Griffin for that. Thank you.
All
right, Griff. Your three
All
hosts.
right. So, okay. I know. This should be an easy one. Should be an easy one. Here we go.
Let's do it.
What month did I start full time as a notary?
Epic fail for me. Epic fail. Epic fail. That's just kidding. What is it, y'all? Velma said October. Griff.
Nope.
So November.
November. There you go.
She got it again.
So who was that?
I think it's the same person. Is that Day? I think she won again. I think. Yeah, let me see.
So you picked the first 3 Novembers.
Yeah, she won. She won again. It's the same person. So Day won again for the first hosting. What's your next question? Sorry, y'all. The first hosting is gone. We have 2 more.
All right.
No, it was Adrian. It was Adrian? What do you mean, Diane? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what she means. All right, what's the second one?
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. All right.
As you look for your question, y'all know if I mess up, just correct me. All right. As Griffin, no caramelized honey. Y'all confusing me. Y'all know that ADD. Okay, so Day said it wasn't me. No, it was caramelized or something. Caramelized or something. Caramel or something. You're good, Day. Thank you for correcting. If I mention y'all name and y'all want it, just hit up Griff, please. I appreciate y'all. You are welcome, Robin. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right.
All right. Here's a question. I just typed it in there.
All right. What's your question? Let's see.
What is the most important thing a notary should be doing?
Ooh. All right. She answered first. Okay. Whoever answered first, just hit up Griff, y'all. I trust y'all. Ask the question again. What's the question? Oh, okay. Here we go. We have Bruce. I'm sorry. Bruce answered the other question. We have identity, notarizing, studying notary laws.
I got to go with Terry, notarizing. What I'm talking about is making sure notarizing those documents correctly.
There it is.
The reason why I say that, because if you notarize the documents correctly, that means you should have properly identified the person, because you can identify a person and still don't do the notarizations correctly.
That is correct. Listen, when I first started, Griff, I was so excited to get my first client. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I notarized completely wrong. This woman had to come back 4 times. Luckily, she was cool. But it was my first client. 4 times I messed up on the notarization. 4 times. So I think it's epic that you understand what you're notarizing, why you're notarizing, understand your laws, your statutes, so on and so forth. So, Terry.
All right. So Terry Freeman. All right.
Terry, please.
All right.
Vague.
All right. So
vague.
What's this last one? What was this last one? Okay. Man, you put me on the spot with that.
I love it. I'm an Aquarius. That's what we do.
Okay. This should be easy for people. This should be very easy. Here it is. Here it is.
All right. Here's the question. Oh, yes, Aquarius, Libra, love, Kara. I see you, Kira. When was my birthday?
Velma.
Velma got it. And I said it in the beginning too. May 7th. So if y'all didn't wish this king his born day, please wish him his born day, please, before we get out of here. Griff,
Yeah, lady.
You did awesome. This was
Thank
freaking
you.
and I
Well,
am
you too.
humbled and honored that you took out time on Mother's Day to chat with me and give people awesome information.
Good. And you know, I'm just trying to help. And as I always say, if there's anything that I may have misspoken or may have wrong or not the full information, and somebody does, I'm always willing to sit
Yes,
down, listen, and learn. But I
yes,
will say this here, be respectful. And especially to those of you who are young out here, under 35 and younger, respect the people. Be respectful because those are the people who I've had the most problems with. I'll be honest with you,
yeah,
that have been most disrespectful toward me and what I'm saying. And I get it, you know. And I'll be honest, I mean, it seemed like outside of a couple of few guys, it's not that many guys out there. And I'll be honest with you, I don't see too many black guys
no, you
out
know,
here trying to do the notary stuff from a standpoint of without redirecting you to somebody else,
yeah,
you know, that they themselves, I'm just trying to help people. And I know y'all need it. You know you need it. It's just a matter of whether you're going to accept the help or not, and then do your part in growing who you are so that you can be the best notary out there because it there it's there. I mean, it's there. I'm just excited for y'all. I am truly
well,
excited for y'all. So don't worry about the slowdowns. Don't worry about the hiccups. Don't worry about all of that. Verify, make people prove who they are to you. Make sure they prove that information that they're sharing. And if they're unwilling to do that, then you just leave them alone
keep
and keep
pushing.
going and just keep going, you know. And unfortunately, sometimes, you know, when people start getting that YouTube money and all of that, they change on you. They start getting that mentor money. Oh, well, I don't need to do notary as much. And lastly is this, as I talked about before about the law of the lid, a person can only lead you to the level that they're at or
Mm,
really just below. So if they're only in this game for 6 months, they can only lead you up to the 5 months that they've completed.
mm-hmm.
That's just a true fact. And you know, they got to understand their limitations. So you got to be careful about who you follow, who you listen to,
Yeah,
if they can't really take you. And then if they stop doing notary after 3, 4, 5 months, it ain't gonna take you long if you keep doing notary to surpass them. So now you're paying somebody to be your mentor, and you got twice or 3 times the amount of experience than them. That don't make sense. They only been doing it for 3 months. They stopped because they're getting all this mentor money, all this here, you know, other side hustle money and everything. And now you've been doing it 6 months and they stopped at 3. I ain't paying somebody mentor money who got less experience in it than me. The moment they stop doing it, the moment they say I'm not doing notary anymore, okay, you ain't getting my checks. You ain't getting my money no more.
I
I
feel
ain't
you.
listening to you no more. Why subscribe? Because you have nothing of value to add to me because you stopped.
You
You
stopped.
stopped.
Exactly. You got what
Yeah.
you want, and now you out.
Hmm.
So I'll pass. That's the way I
All
feel.
right. Well, the floor is
All right.
yours, lady.
All right. Well, listen, Griff, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, I'm humbled that you've been here. If y'all are not following this king, please do so. Engage with him. He has a plethora of information to help you. If y'all not following me, please do so on all of my social medias, specifically my Instagram. And Clubhouse, I have created a new club room called the Abnormal Consult. Please make sure you follow that room. And I think that's it. I think you gave the gems, Griff. And if there's nothing else, y'all, we're going to get out of here. Griff, I want to stay in touch with you because I really want to get you and Miss Lisa on in the same call. I'm going to be taking a break, y'all, here soon. I have Salathia coming to the show next Sunday from Dotted Line Signing, so be in the tune for that. I also have DR Tech, who has been in the chat a little bit the following Sunday. And then after that, y'all, I'm going to take a break to get my businesses on point and get myself thriving along with y'all. So with that being said, Griff, do you have anything else before we get out of here?
Um,
Thank you, Doretta.
nah, that's it.
All right, cool.
That's it.
That's as always, and we'll chat on the back end once I close out everything else.
Okay.
Again, I appreciate y'all. Happy Mother's Day. I love y'all so much for following. Please make sure you follow Griff. And I think that's it. We out.
Yeah. All right, people. Peace.